Members of the group were arrested on Tuesday after they forcefully invaded the National Assembly. Their invasion left 9 policemen injured and several vehicles destroyed. And President Muhammadu Buhari has nominated the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, as substantive CJN. The National Judicial Council had yesterday recommended Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad to Buhari for confirmation as the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. Tanko's name was read by Senate President Ahmed Lawan on the floor of the Senate. Buhari urged the Senate to accord the confirmation of Justice Muhammad for speedy consideration. And the federal government says it has collected over 10 trillion naira from the implementation of the Treasury single account from 1,674 ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Office of the Accountant General of the Federation made this disclosure at Peer Review Mechanism of Ministries, Departments, and Agencies 2019 in Abuja to the head of Civil Service of the Federation. The OAGF, while making its presentation, stated that under TSA, the government has been able to save over 45 billion naira monthly in interest on ways and means that is used to pay before the full implementation of the TSA. It was also disclosed that 50 billion naira revenue from funds have so far been mopped from commercial banks as a result of TSA implementation. Some other achievements recorded since TSA became fully operational include the elimination of cash handling cost, ability to determine consolidated federal government cash position, significant improvement in federal government liquidity position, and improved revenue collection mechanism through e-collection. And now on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has ordered an investigation into France's planned tax on tech giants, a move that could result in retaliatory tariffs. His trade representative said the U.S. was very concerned that the tax unfairly targets American companies. On Thursday, the French Parliament is due to approve a 3% levy on revenue made by such companies as Google and Facebook inside the country. France argues that these firms currently exploit global tax loopholes. Tech giants are able to locate their headquarters in low-tax countries where they declare most of their profits, thereby minimizing their tax bill. And that's it on the news update for the hour. Thank you for your time and stay tuned.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
I'm Pt1 calling from Imo State.
My name is White calling from Bayelsa.
Hello, yes, this is Udwa calling from Akwa Ibom.
My name is John calling from Bayelsa.
Shamaka calling from Abia.
This is Toya calling from Bayelsa.
I'm Divine calling from Port Harcourt.
With over 8 million listeners glued to this dial, why not take advantage
and showcase your product
and services to the world with rates that wouldn't break your back?
Visit us at number 1 Today FM Drive off East West Road, Rumekini, Port Harcourt, or our city office, 21 Orobon Crescent, GRA Phase 2, Port Harcourt.
Give us a call today on
0803 35 57 986 or 0810 128 2937.
We are your number 1 talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
I'm not here too tight to announce yourself for this place.
Abobe, march down, Moko, come on here.
Madam, now so you dey rich. How you go chop banana finish, wrap am for nylon, put am inside your bag? When you dey close to window, you no fit throw am now. Abeg go, now so you dey rich.
Abeg, make I calm down.
Don't you know that banana peels are slippery? It can actually cause an accident. And moreover, you are not supposed to throw things on the road. You should pack your rubbish until you get to a trash can where you can dispose it properly. We all have a responsibility to keep the state clean. Keeping the state clean will help stop the spread of diseases and leave our city looking beautiful. So, Oga and Madam, let's stop dumping refuse anyhow on the roads. Let's join our hands together to keep our state clean, to keep River State clean.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
Port Harcourt.
Corruption is a dishonest action that destroys people's trust. Corruption takes many forms and can be interpreted by many people in many ways. It is hard to enter into any sector in Nigeria without observing one corrupt practice or the other. The faces of corruption ranges from political, universities and college, bank sector, the civil service, even the religious bodies. In Nigeria, factors like greed, poor youth empowerment, poverty, unemployment, etc., are said to be responsible for corruption. However, no reason is good enough to be corrupt, because corruption is capable of crippling our economy, raise poverty level, bring about national crises, as well as poor national development. Stop the embezzlement and misappropriation of public or government funds, bribery, malpractice, man no man, and treat all citizens equally today. A corrupt-free nation is possible. This message is powered by your premium talk radio Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Some people will carry human head in their boots and they will not charge them because they are collecting bribe.
When they go collect salary, then go say government need to pay them way. All these taxi drivers safe. They don't even get papers. Even driver's license safe, they no get.
Hey you, back there. Hold on there.
Their cars are in bad shape, very, very bad shape. They have no ethics of driving. That is why they will continue to bribe so that they can have their way.
I go shoot you now. I go shoot you. Headlight, you no get. Side mirror, you no get. Motorway to carry animal. Now you take put for road to carry human being. You don't even wind the motor when rain they fall. You no get conscience at all.
Take, you be number 15. You be number 5. More than no forget on number.
Let's allow them do their job.
Do not obstruct justice by giving or taking bribe. Avail yourself a check. Even you, Oga driver, stop reckless driving and always update your papers. This information
is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
Voice of the people.
Officer, give me change. Now 1,000 I give you.
Every child deserves to be happy. Every child deserves to laugh. Years after Nigeria adopted international prohibitions on child labor into law, millions of children in the country are still engaged in child labor activities. The International Labour Organization estimates that about 25% of Nigeria's 80 million children under the age of 14 are now in the workforce. Every child deserves a childhood. Let us all rise in every hood to give every child, regardless creed, belief, or tribe, a pleasant childhood filled with laughter. This message is brought to you by the voice of the people, Today 95.1 FM.
For crying out loud, why should you leave me at this point in time? Oh my God. Living my life now. I couldn't do anything like that to me. What on earth did I do to this?
Suicide is a practice that is fast in dominance in Nigeria. Suicide is the intentional act of taking one's life. Within the first quarter of 2017 alone, many Nigerians have subscribed to suicide as a means to escaping depression, severe anxiety, acute stress, terminal diseases, lack of money or hope for survival, mental disorder, or even a heartbreak. The World Health Organization revealed that no fewer than 1 million people die annually from suicide, which represents a global mortality rate of 16 people per 100,000, or 1 death in every 40 seconds. It is also a fact that approximately 10 to 20 million people attempt suicide every year. But is anything worth dying for? Suicide is a major public health concern, but it is preventable. Talk to someone when you feel depressed. You can also prevent others from a suicide attempt by contacting the Nigerian Suicide Prevention Initiative on 080-621-06493 or 080-921-06493. Choose to live today because life is beautiful. This message is powered by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Here at
Today, we bring you what you need to hear.
This is what they're going after. They're not going to
It has to be applicable to all situations.
It cannot be, because when the evidence...
Some people are not sure of 1 meal a day in a society with such huge potentials.
If a criminal passes that place, whichever means he used in passing, and you turn around to blame the citizen, for instance, people will ask you, were you not there?
Malaria kills Nigerians. Malaria.
News.
This is the World News. I am Annie Abdul Salam. In the headlines, Federal Executive
Sports
and entertainment.
My name is Shubogu Najib. Straight up to football on the show.
This is Today. Every day, 24/7, 365. We are your official all-year radio station.
Cultism is a monster whose ravaging effects have left tales of woes such as loss of lives, kidnapping, drug abuse, threats, destruction of properties, blackmail, rape, and many other ills in society. In our society today, poor parental training, peer pressure, poverty, quest for power and social identity are the leading factors that contributes to youths indulging in this act. Again, peace can be restored to our society only and only if we attach value to human lives. And this would bring about rapid development to our community. Say no to cultism. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Thomas Edison, who lived from 1847 to 1931, was quoted as saying in 1890 that non-violence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savages. Encourage peace in the city and report violence. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not harm. Thou shalt not be violent. This message is brought to you by the Voice of the People. Today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Nigeria is more than a geographical expanse of land spreading from the north down to the south. Nigeria is the people that live in it. You are Nigerian. I am Nigerian. We are Nigeria. Nigeria gets better when we do. And there is no limit to the little things we could all do to make Nigeria a country we will be proud to call our own. Little things that matter, done for the love of Nigeria, is all we need to make Nigeria better and greater. This message is powered by Today 95.
Every day on Today 95.1 FM, there's always an opportunity to comment and air your views on our various programs. It's not just about us, it's about you, your opinion and your voice.
President, don't you think that it's time to step down, sir?
Be part of the story, the gist, reactions, intrigues, and the news.
President Neil Patrick Harris has called for greater regulation.
Give us a feedback or join the conversation on Twitter at TodayFM951. Our Facebook address is Today95.1 FM, or join us on the number 0701 933 9962. That's our WhatsApp application. Be informed, be educated, and have fun. We are Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
You
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double efforts. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle.
every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
Your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, 17 minutes past 1 o'clock of this lovely afternoon, Thursday afternoon, the 11th of July. My name is Ifeemi Andrew, and you're welcome to today's hustle, another edition of the program. And today we are going to really talk about a lot of stuff. We always do. It's never going to change because things continue to happen, and so there is a need to continuously talk about them. You all know that by now the show is divided into two segments. The first half is when we pick or highlight certain trending topics. And the second half, we focus on a particular issue. We didn't have the anti-cultism summit for nothing. We did that so we can get to hear what the thoughts are and what the views of many people are with regards to how we can solve that problem of cultism in our society. And we're using the whole of this week as well to x-ray some of those solutions that was preferred by stakeholders. And so you get to also look at them and tell us what should and how we can implement them effectively. So today would not be any different. On the second half of the show, we are also still going to focus on cultism, but this time we'll be taking contributions from our schools. How can we solve it from the schools? During the anti-cultism summit that we had on Saturday last week, some stakeholders pointed towards the direction of solving the problem from our tertiary institutions and secondary and primary schools as well. So we'll be putting all of that into consideration with our guest today over the phone. We'll be talking to us on the plans that the school have and roles that the school can play to mold a child and help us tackle that problem of cultism. All of this will come on the second half of the show. But for the first half of the show, very interesting things to talk about. If you didn't know, I think I'll bring this to you quickly. Security agents have shot in the air to disperse members of the Muslim sect Islamic Movement of Nigeria. Don't forget that yesterday we gave you a report that they actually stormed the National House of Assembly. 2 police officers were shot on the leg. About 9 of them got injured. Cars were destroyed. And some of them were arrested. Some members of the group were arrested. And yesterday I asked the question, why the violence? Why? If it's to protest for your leader or their leader who perhaps was taken, why the violence then? Why shoot police officers? What doesn't that make their case even more difficult? Because perhaps the government has said this person could be a national threat and is still trying to see how we can handle the situation. But then when you come out and you attack in the manner that it was said to have happened yesterday, that makes it difficult. And then the sympathy of the public, you lose it, because now they begin to see the group as a group that can cause harm. And some people already are asking, are we seeing the rise of a different sect of violent group in Nigeria? That's the question. We're already tackling the Boko Haram issue. We already have the what would you call it now? The banditry issue. We're still thinking about how to solve the killer herdsmen issue. And now we're beginning to see a Muslim sect Islamic Movement of Nigeria, protest in some manners that many are beginning to question. Today was no different because according to what we have, it says that the Shiite group allegedly attempted to cause crisis around the federal secretariat in Abuja. According to passers-by and workers who were there, they were in panic, of course, and couldn't go around the area. People had to run away from the scene because of the gunshots that they heard. Supporters of the detained Shiite leader Ibrahim El-Zakzaki were out to protest the detention of their leader. They've always been coming out. Once in a while I've been seeing them, but this is almost like a back-to-back situation now, the way it's going. Now, on the part of the government, we haven't really gotten a statement from the federal government yet on how they plan to tackle this, because they are responsible for this man still being held. Well, we know that he's been held, and sometimes stories even came on statements that came from the Minister of Information before now that was disregarded. But
this is where we are, and this is the problem that we have now. Is this gradually going to become something that we can no longer contain? Is a question that we need to answer. That's a huge question that we need to answer. So, what would the federal government do? What would they say about this? That we have to keep our fingers crossed and wait for. But you should know that they have gone out on a protest again. Although 40 members of the group have been arraigned by the police command in Abuja in about 3 different courts because of their numbers. They couldn't get all of them in one court. So 3 different courts they've been arraigned. And, we'll just see how the role that the court will play in all of this. Meanwhile, there are still some other very interesting revelations that are coming out with regards to the just concluded elections. Let me quickly inform you, if you want to make your opinions heard, you want to react to any of the stories that we have so far, what you do is quickly send us a text message to 0701 933 9962. 0701 933 9962. That's our SMS number, all right? So you can send your messages there. We're not opening the phone lines yet. So just in case you have something you really want to contribute about what we just mentioned, you can use the SMS portal so you don't forget it. We'll definitely take your messages as we progress of the show. But let me quickly tell you something about the INEC server, all right? We all know that the presidential tribunal is on. And Buba Galadima was the first witness that came up for the PDP, also present at the tribunal, not in the capacity of a witness, was the APC national chairman, Adam Sushomola. But more drama is unfolding with regards to the INEC server. And here is something that is coming from Reno Omokri, who is an aide to former President Goodluck Jonathan. Now, an internal circular of INEC has indicated that the commission transmitted voter information from smart card readers to a central server during the 2019 presidential elections. Now, this is tricky. You need to understand this. It's very tricky. So when I open the phone lines, people don't call and begin to make unnecessary comments and begin to indict anybody or point fingers. All right. So I'll try the best that I can to put this very plain so we make our arguments on a very, very neutral ground. Unless you belong to a political party, that might be difficult to state that. But the point is this. An internal circular of INEC indicated that the commission transmitted voter information, keyword, voter information from smart card readers to a central server, another keyword, central server, during the 2019 presidential elections. The document posted by Reno Omokri carried a directive from National Secretary of INEC, Rose Oriara Anthony, to other senior officials of the commission on challenges recorded in transmitting voter accreditation data, keyword, voter accreditation data, transmitting that data to a server. They had some challenges doing that. And the electoral officer also noted in the memo that 4,786 smart card readers did not have data on accredited voters following the presidential election on February 23. Let me pause here, try to explain, but take our minds back first to what Yakubu Mahmoud said after the elections. He said that INEC found out that a lot of irregularities came up. Vote buying, different tricks and techniques that was used by politicians to sway, votes to their favor and all of that. He mentioned all of these. And the questions we asked, I think myself and Iman Undukwe was on the show that day. The question that was asked was, if he was aware about all of this, why then didn't he postpone the elections? Why come and tell us this now? After the elections. Remember, the elections was moved from February 23, if I'm not mistaken, to March for logistical reasons. So if you can move the elections for those reasons, why wouldn't you move the elections for these other reasons that you cited after the elections, irregularities that you claim to have seen? All right. Now, put that on one side and then listen to this problem that they had. Over 4,786 smart card readers did not have data on accredited voters, at least according to the document that was posted by Reno Omokri, carrying a directive from National Secretary of INEC, Rose Oriara Anthony. Okay? That's what we're looking at. Now, there's been the argument of the INEC server, which has been on for a long time. And the thing now is, the PDP and their candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, are saying that there was a server that transmitted the results for the presidential election. All right? Now, if we're going to go by what was said here, according to this document, it is certified that there is a server. According to this document, it means there is a server. But now what we do not understand is it a server for transmission of results or a server for transmission of voter accreditation data? Because many have said that the card reader is for voter accreditation, okay? So yes, if we follow the document, it means there's a server, but is the server one built for accreditation data or for counting of votes? That's where we are now. In the memo, it said a few thousands of smart card readers had issues, and then they were given an option. The presidential Oriano Anthony directed all concerned recs to liaise with their technical and electoral operations officials to clarify why the card readers failed to upload accreditation data on election day and submit their replies on March 28. So the question now is, if this happened, how did many of those places where the card readers had issues, how did they vote? If INEC had said before the elections that they were going to be voting, accreditation will be done strictly electronically and not manually, which means that perhaps there were some exemptions that were made and some people were accredited manually, right? Even before the election, INEC said all of the card readers were functional and have been well upgraded. In fact, I think monies were even spent to get them re-upgraded again. So this telling us perhaps that we might have another server that was used to count the votes? Why is the document coming out now? These are all questions that need to be answered. Witnesses at the presidential poll have also come out to say that Atiku defeated Buhari with 33,000 votes in Katsina. That's according to witnesses at the ongoing presidential tribunal. So it's going to be really dramatic. We all are aware and we know that would happen. What it's going to bring at the end is what we do not know. So we have to keep following the tide and see where it leads us to. But we'd like to know what you think about this new revelation and how it helps the case of the APC, the PDP, and INEC at the tribunal. Very interesting, wouldn't you say? So don't forget, you can send in your messages. The lines are very open, so send those text messages in. We'll be very glad to take them as soon as we can. Meanwhile, let me also tell you, gearing up for 2023 presidential elections already, certain groups are beginning to come out to name who they would want to become president. And the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Bola Tinubu says he does not have any affiliations with a group sharing materials branded for his alleged 2023 presidential campaign. Many are saying that there might be just the possibility that Tinubu might be interested in running for president in 2023. Well, if that happens, it means we don't know. Some people have even said El Rufai might also indicate interest, and that will mean he goes to the north. But don't forget that many have said that come 2023, the people who really need to be represented at that level should be from the east. Well, we don't know if that's going to happen, even if that was a promise that was made by both political parties going into the elections. I mean, both major political parties, we have more than two, forgive me, going into the elections, they made these promises, and the PDP got a vice from the east and one from the north, and the APC got one from the west and one from the north. And 2023, the idea is to get someone from the east. Is that going to happen? Would that be the case? If Tinubu comes out to say he wants to run for president, by chance that happens 2023, or El Rufai does, or any other person from the north or the west does, what would be the case at that time? Well, the group is already beginning to say that Tinubu for 2023, well, he is saying he has nothing to do with that group. So should they be arrested? Aren't they breaking the laws? We're not in an election year period, are we? So why the campaigns? That's also another question that needs to be answered, right? So let's know what your thoughts are, and let's begin to hear what you think about this new development, but also hear that indications are suggested that the ministerial list of the president has been submitted to the National Assembly. Yesterday, we brought the information to you that the Speaker of the House, the Red Chambers, Ahmed Lawan, suggested or insinuated that the list would or could be ready before the week runs out. Well, today is Thursday. We have just tomorrow. And remember that they would be going for their mandatory holiday, which will last for about a month or two. If the list doesn't come before that time, or it comes at the end of before the end of this month, where does that leave their job? How tidy will that leave the job of scrutinizing everyone on that ministerial list? Imagine if the president submits the list 2 weeks before the end of this month, or a week before the end of this month, or 3 weeks before the end of this month. Wouldn't that affect their job of really taking out time to deliberate on each of the different candidates that would be coming in for any ministerial position? Well, we don't know. Hopefully, the list comes early enough. But the reports coming is suggesting that the president has already submitted the list to the National Assembly. Not confirmed yet. So people don't say we said he did. Not confirmed yet, but that is the indications and the feelers that we are getting. Report says between 12 and 15 ex-ministers may make the president's new cabinet. Okay? So some people might retain their position. Some might still be ministers, even if they don't retain the same ministry that they were formerly heading. We don't know what the plan is and what the president has in store, but the aim is to ensure that all of this is done so we can move the nation forward. As it stands now, economically, we have some slight issues because these ministries are not really functioning. Okay, the president also submitted the name of this Justice Tanko as substantive CJN is in acting capacity. He has to be confirmed. So we're also waiting to look at that one. All right, and then quickly before we go to the phone lines, let me also tell you this. The PDP has set up a committee to investigate the voting pattern of its lawmakers during the 9th National Assembly leadership election in June. Remember when a visit was paid to Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike by one of his fellow PDP chieftains. The governor of Rivers State made a statement with regards to party loyalty. It said some people within the PDP suggesting that they might not be loyal to party decisions and they may have, turned around the vote differently. That's why the outcome is what it is at the moment with regards to minority leadership at the House of Representatives. And that is causing this uproar now and causing the PDP to begin to investigate the voting pattern of its lawmakers. Well, National Chairman of the PDP, Uche Secondus, inaugurated the committee in Abuja and said the committee had 3 weeks to submit its report. He says this is true internal democracy for the PDP and how they choose to handle their problems. Even further said that there is no problem within the PDP. Perhaps the media is just taking it out of proportion. Really? Are we blowing it out of proportion? We know that there is a lot of disagreements within the PDP at the moment, and even the House wasn't comfortable with the statements that was made by the governor of Rivers State. Was he referring to the House when he made the statement or referring to members of the PDP? Well, that's for them to decide. But that's also a development that you should know about. So quickly, let's know what your thoughts are on all that we have raised so far. Let us hear your opinions and views on all of these issues. All you need to do is send in a text message at 0701 933 9962. You can also use that for WhatsApp. It's also our WhatsApp handle. Portal, or you call our phone lines on 0817 00 951 0817 00 951. Hello and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Andy.
Please, okay, you're welcome. Turn down the volume of your radio.
Mascot calling from Port Harcourt.
Mascot, go ahead.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. The group campaigning for Tinubu, and when he alleged, he came out that he has no link with them. Well, like Obasanjo said in 2011, say he they laugh. Me too, I they laugh here, honestly, because You see, I don't want to mention them, but a man of bullion van who came out publicly called the bluff of all Nigerians that he has not had any government contract and that he owed nobody any explanation for the bullion vans, about 3 of them that was found in his house during the election. And AEFCC has gone to sleep. ICPC has gone to sleep. Every other investigative agencies of government, they have all gone to sleep without investigating how 3 bullion vans, were found in the house of a known politician in Lagos. So they need to clear that saga because it's an albatross hanging on the neck. It needs to be cleared before somebody will come out to talk about 2023. 2023, God will decide who will rule Nigeria. My people, the Igbo race has suffered in this country. But if it is the wish of God that the Igbo race will rule 2023 or any other time, I will have no problem with that. My problem is that this party that is ruling now, I feel very strongly that by 2023, this party will become an opposition party because the signs are there. This party that is ruling now, I don't want to mention the name of the party, but the ruling party now, by the grace of God in 2023, will go into opposition. The signs are there. So because they have thrown away balancing, equity, fairness, away into the winds. Now, another party will come that will bring about equity to political balancing in this country. Political equity in this country will come in around 2023. So that is my own thing. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you, Mascot. Hello, good afternoon. We lost that call. All right, the SMS portal is open, so just do well to send in your text messages using our SMS portal or WhatsApp messages if you want. 0701 933 9962. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Yes, good afternoon.
Andrew, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Okay, my name is Operan Tandidi.
Okay, Ndidi, go ahead.
I'm calling from Rubaku.
Okay.
Okay, I want to, my concern is on the issue of NJC recommending Mohammed Tanko for CJN. This is the same NJC who came up to say, issued a query to Mohammed Tanko, and he didn't answer that query up to today. Now they are stabbing the former Chief Justice at the back because they have succeeded in removing him arbitrarily without due process. The problem of this country, politically, I think, is the lawyers. The judiciary is the problem of this country. This law we are talking about is what we inherited.
Hello. Hello. What's that call? Please do all the callers back in Didi. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
You're welcome.
God bless you. It's been so. 88 root is bitter.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hope I could still be in the peaceful community of River State. My dear brother, you see, like what you said from the information, that the defeated Buhari by 33,000.
Hello. 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 Oh, really sad. I think we're having technical glitches. You could please do well to call back. We'll definitely be here to take your call still. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Andrew. This is DK.
All right, DK, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, coming to PDP presentation of their case in court. It's already starting with a conflicting figure. What Galedima is presenting is even different from PDP's original position. I don't know how it's going to end. And I would like to
the 33,000 that they talked about was a witness said in a particular state, not the whole figure. Said in Katsina State, according to the witness, Article 1, President Buhari, with a difference of 33,000 in Katsina State.
Yes, I know what you are saying, but PDP earlier position, Article's figure, is even different from the one Galedima is presenting. So it's a conflicting figure. Coming to zoning, I'm waiting to see how PDP will zone presidency to Southeast to show how Alhaji people love Southeast. Thank you.
Hello.
Andrew.
Hello.
Yeah, yes, I can connect you now.
Okay.
This is the show.
Go ahead.
It's very, very unfortunate that some people talk like a newborn baby. A child.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. That INEC, which Mahmoud, Mahmoud, is in fact told Nigeria with all the whole money they voted in the history of Nigeria. This is the highest time election that Nigeria spent 224 billion. After the ones that they got purchased during the Nathan time. And at the end of the day, the one saw how that election went. The man has the right to cancel by undervoting. They got created polling booths in a war zone like Obronu. And at the end of the day, the one said, General said, let sleeping dog to lie. And he accepted the defeat. Now, at the end of the day, voted money for servers, 1.4 billion. And this Mahmoud telling Nigeria, he used it only for test running. Now, that test running he used to do in Osun State. Do you accept the result? The answer is yes. Then at the main election, you are telling us he did it again. And the same 100 senior staff INEC are held by this present government, not by Atiku, stood at the court, told Nigeria that they transmitted every result to the server. At the same time, INEC told us that their server is no longer safe. People are hacking the server. And this is coming to tell us that he didn't conduct the election electronically. Different. Presently now, we are hearing about 33,000 votes used in defeating Buhari. And at the same time, Mahmoud is still sitting as a INEC chairman in Nigeria. And the lawmakers are clapping their hands. Like Magu was rejected by Senate, rejected by House of Reps, rejected by the Nigeria. Buhari kept Magu remain today as an acting EF chairman. The question of action is only Magu that can do the job in the whole Nigeria. It's only the service chief we have that will be the only service chief in this country. In Nigeria, as I know, being a sort of a military high-rank officer, the moment you are the point of redneck officer, you are going in Satan. No service chief stay for 4 years. Neither 2 years is by the grace of the relation with the government or the nation needed you. And this present service chief, upon the whole killing, we are having change. And the peace remain there. Every day they are killing. The question of action, where are we heading? What is the picture they are facing this country? Where the youth will go? And they are fighting kidnappers, fighting cultism. Why did the federal government initiated all this evil? Rockers of culture were taught by INEC commissioner, a professor, appointed by this government, that did not kidnap him, which is an offense for kidnapping. And the result in us was somebody do it. And I was saying to Nigeria, no matter your offense, come to the APC, your sin is forgiven. My dear brother, may God forgive evil.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Hello to Today 95.1 FM. What's that call? All right there. So take advantage of our SMS portal. We'll be taking our text messages shortly. But you can call us up and air your thoughts and views on 081-700-00951. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
You're welcome. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
This is Akarimo calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay, you're welcome.
I want to comment on this issue of Tanko. Yesterday I recommended Tanko for the... See, my brother, the Tanko are beneficiary of what has happened in the judiciary. Onogan, who was suspended, and they also benefit of what has happened in the judiciary. All of them are beneficiary of what they are doing in the judiciary. That is my own understanding. So if you are sacked or suspended, you are benefit of what you have been putting in place. If you are appointed we are also benefit on what I've been putting on in press. So that's my take in this. Thank you.
All right, to 0810951091. What do you also have to say about the shite situation? That's a very critical question we haven't looked into. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello, Andrew.
Lawson, you're welcome.
Yes, greetings. I think PDP should forget. These are those servers. Let us forget. I can tell you how this matter will end. Buhari will finish and hand over to someone else in May 2023. That's how it will end. Nothing will come out of it. Forget about it. So that all these ones is just to waste time. And again, PDP, I'm surprised that they are now wanting to check how their people voted. This is the same thing they were advancing. Now suddenly it has been applied on them, and now they want to investigate. It's strange. Very, very strange. Those senators and House of Rep members, are they their babies? They should forget about that. Then the Shiite movement. Look, in this country, we have Shiite Muslims and we also have Sunni Muslims. I don't know, a lot of people don't understand. Most people didn't even know this group of people because they didn't go to Kaduna, where they were occupying in Zaria. You can't even pass. As an ordinary man, even chief of army staff almost met his death there. If not for the way the soldiers move quickly, the chief of army staff would have been killed. That is how dangerous they are. It's a dangerous group. Now, when they protest, they can't look at the other time they protest Abuja. Do you know stone is a weapon? Do you know that stone can kill someone? Stone that they carry petrol bomb. They are causing a lot of problems. We know they are sponsors. They are sponsored outside of this country. You understand? A country where you have Shiite Muslims are the ones sponsoring them. So we are tired of this thing where group of people cannot come. Even if you are a religious group, a sect or whatever, you conduct your business quietly, not to the disturbance of the next person. You understand? Not to the disturbance of the next person. Now, even if you are protesting, you can look at what they did the last time they protested. And when you ask them, they deny. When you ask them, they deny. I am telling you that there is no way the military or the police will not use maximum force on them. Because they themselves, as they have all kinds of weapons, including guns. So when they are protesting and you come, they also inflict injuries, they sometimes even death on the security agents. So the security agents will definitely react when it comes to this Shiite group. But they should know one thing, that they are not the only Muslim group in Nigeria. They should know that and stop all this disturbance. I don't know why we will not rest in this country in the hands of group of people. Everybody here and there causing problems. But it's unfortunate then, everybody knows it. It is not news that the former Lagos State Governor will take a swipe and will take a look at the presidency. He wants to be president. Don't forget, even when Buhari came, the former Senate president made it clear that he was supposed to be Buhari and Tinubu, the former Lagos State Governor. But what spoiled the Tinubu chances was that Buhari was a Muslim, Tinubu was a Muslim, and according to the Senate president, the former Senate president, they objected because they cannot have Muslim ticket presently in Nigeria. That was why Tinubu pulled himself out and brought his boy. So 2023, the Igbos, just like what DK said, I am also waiting to see whether PDP will give their ticket to the East. I am waiting whether they can do that. And again, PDP didn't vote for APC. So there is no way APC, I'm telling you, mark it down. It will come from the West, the Southwest. Their presidential candidate will come from the Southwest.
Thank you, Lawson.
Thank you.
Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Hello. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. All right, what's that call? We'll be going to our SMS portal very shortly. Let's see if we can take one more call before we go. 08170000951 and 0810009 9510951. Those are the numbers to call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
All right, you're welcome. Your name, please?
Kennedy calling from Port Harcourt.
All right.
So before I proceed, as I call you now, and I talk with all my muscle and say that APC or PDP, this, that, Southeast, Southwest, this, that, 2023, Tinubu, will I get a lot? Please let me ask.
If you don't think you'd get an alert, why did you call then?
Because they are making noise.
All right, thank you very much. We can't have you on the show in that tone. So if you want to choose to be disrespectful and very, I wouldn't want to use words that you might find as offensive, but I wouldn't encourage you to be disrespectful to any person who contributes on the show. Thank you very much. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Andy, I called back. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
People who talk, if you don't know what to talk, you shut up your mouth there and don't call. We are expressing ourselves and we like it. So people should mind how they talk there. You know. Now, what I want to still talk on the Tinubu issue. I would even want the APC to give Tinubu that ticket. They will, my brother, they will experience a monumental defeat. The defeat will be monumental, will be shameful, will be despicable. The defeat APC will suffer. So let them bring in. Even to me, I'm an Igbo, a core Igbo man. But because the PDP respects the Igbo race so much, respects the Igbo nation so much, even if they zone it to the north and pick an Igbo as the vice president, the Igbo people will still support PDP. Because PDP has always respected the Igbo race as a nation. So let them please go and pick Tinubu. Let me see whether he will get vote from South or Southeast, and then whether or not to vote for him. They will experience worst defeat of their life, and that is good for our democracy. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. Quickly, let's go to our SMS portal and take some of your text messages. Remember, the SMS portal is 0701-933-9962. That's where you can send your messages to. We have quite a lot of them. This one says, Andrew, I still ask this question. Was the Osun State election accepted when the server was used for test run? The answer is yes. Why can't that be applicable to the presidential election, KC? That's a question for INEC, not me, I hope. Andrew, I want to ask, is PDP and Atiku also some misguided callers? Are they still making noise after they were deceived by hacking into INEC server? Amambata and Bata Kalagbo. We don't know if INEC has a server, so we can't say they hacked any server. It's a shame that NJC have shown to the world that they are stooge to the executive judiciary is indeed the problem of this country. Singer Bruce. Good day, Mr. Andrew. I'm Franco Confidence. INEC coming up with the contradictory and unrealistic report at the recent time shows partisanship and that the election was rigged in favor of their preferred candidate. INEC should have prepared for better lies before coming up with the server story. We are not fools. Hi, Andrew. The action and inaction of INEC has brought us where we are today. My question is, does INEC agree having a server from Esogwa Ugochukwu? And Andy, presidential election. The recent revelations will expose cheaters in 2019 elections. Uchebeke from Ekbeye land. And soon says, Andrew, good afternoon. Nothing will come out of the arrest. The Muslim sect will be released. If it is Biafran agitators, many of them will be killed. And if it is Niger Delta militants, warplanes will be sent to destroy them. I think agitators of IPOB who were arrested also got released when they were arrested, right? But the Muslim sect attacked the NAS and police officers wounded. I repeat again, nothing will come out of it. They'll be released. Kenneth Davidson Stewart from Opobo Town. Andrew, the 2023 warm-up of Ahmed Tinubu, Southwest and Arifine North Central Kanatos, that it connotes that the APC as a political party, Biafran war is still on. Well, check it in the other way of APC political arrangement. Presidency North, Vice Presidency West. President of the Senate North, Secretary of the Federal Government North, Speaker of the Rep West, all the service chiefs North and West, all heads of parastatals North. What is Southeast and South-South take? Is this still one Nigeria? Emeka asked that question. Okay, Emeka, thank you very much. I see one more call, and then we call it quits on the show. Hello, it's the 95.1 FM.
Yes, hello, Andrew.
You're welcome.
I'm Prince Andy Abu calling from Rundele.
All right, go ahead, Prince Andy.
My interest is that I am one thing I am waiting for is the outcome of this court judgment. INEC say we don't have a server. PDP say you had a server. Are you forcing me to have a server even when it is not backed by law? I should have a server. I don't know where that will stand. That is one judgment I am waiting to see how the outcome, how it will play out. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that one. Well, let me quickly remind us that on the second half of the show, we are going to be looking at how we can implement the solution of tackling cultism from the school level. Is it really possible? Can it work at our tertiary institutions as well as our primary and secondary schools? Is it possible to tackle the problem of cultism from that angle? That's a very serious question that needs to be answered. Hello to the 95.1 FM.
Hello.
You're welcome. Hello. We can barely hear you. I think we have interference from the service provider, so please, you can do well to call us back and we'll take your calls. Let's first of all go see if we have any messages on our WhatsApp portal. And so we take some of those ones before we wrap up the first half of the show. Remember, you can also send a WhatsApp message to 0701 933 9962. 0701 933 9962. That's WhatsApp portal. You can send your WhatsApp messages there. We'll go on a short break now for the news update. As soon as we're done with that, we'll be back to continue with the second half of the show. Remember, the second half is going to be how we can implement the solution of fighting cultism from our schools is the next topic of discuss on the second half of the show. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Today 95.1 FM,
Good
good morning.
My name is Ifeanyi. I'm calling you from... Hello?
Yes, today 95.1 FM, good morning.
My name is William. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, William from Port Harcourt, go ahead.
Talk radio.
You have a right to say no, right? All right.
I'm calling from Unipua.
Okay, thank you so much from Unipua.
We are the station that needs no introduction. Of course, you know, we give the best in news, sports.
You like football, right?
Entertainment, politics. In fact, call it talk.
Yes, we know there's a lot you want to hear, and that is why we talk about everything.
Talk radio.
We're right before you. It's just a dial away. This is your number one premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon, and here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifeanyi Andrew. Some Niger Delta ex-agitators under the federal government amnesty program have accused the federal government of abandoning them after the first phase of their training in the maritime sector in Sweden. Some of the aggrieved ex-agitators who spoke to our correspondent, Chinedu Iwuna, said the second phase of the training program was meant to help them acquire a certificate of competence to enable them secure a job. They said since the first phase was completed in Sweden in 2014, all their efforts to get the federal government sponsor the second phase of as promised have proved abortive. The ex-agitators therefore appealed to the federal government to fulfill their promise to enable them acquire the certificate of competence, which will enable them practice as maritime workers. The ex-agitators also threatened to stage another protest if their demands were not met. And the members and Executive Council of the Kalabari Unity Project Initiative for Good Governance have joined in congratulating Governor Nyesom Wike and the People's Democratic Party family in Rivers State over the victory against the petition of the Africa Action Congress at the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in Port Harcourt. The CUPIG described the victory as a widely accepted victory following the circumstances that led to the emergence of Governor Wike and other PDP candidates during the last general elections in the state. Addressing newsmen in Port Harcourt, the President General of the group, Jerry Horsfall, commended the judiciary, especially the tribunal, for proving that they are the last hope of the common man. Horsfall, however, urged the governorship candidate of the AAC, Biokpa Mabo-Awara, to have a rethink and consider not appealing the judgment of the tribunal, but join hands with the government of the day to move the state forward.
Unity Project Initiative for Good Governance, CUPIG, in conjunction with our sole patron, Engineer Victor Obuzo, JP, joyfully congratulate His Excellency, the Golden Governor of Rivers State, Chief Barrister Zebunye Sowike, and the entire PDP family. Once again, congratulate them for the victory God granted to them at the tribunal. We also thank members of the tribunal. They have shown to the common man that they are the last hope, because the victory of Chief Barrister Zebunye Sowike on the governorship election is divine. So also the judgment by the members of the tribunal of the governorship election in Rivers State is also divine. On that note, we are advising our brother, the son of Calabar Kingdom, to rethink, not to appeal the matter, and join hands with His Excellency, Mr. Project, to move the state forward and the Calabar Kingdom forward.
And now security agents have shot in the air to disperse members of the Muslim sect Islamic Movement of Nigeria, popularly known as Shiite, who allegedly attempted to cause crisis around the Federal Secretariat in Abuja. Passers-by and workers were thrown into panic around the area as they ran away from the scene due to the gunshots. Supporters of detained Shiite leader Ibrahim El-Zakzaki were out again to protest the detention of their leader. No casualty has been recorded so far. And now the federal government says it has collected over 10 trillion naira from the implementation of the Treasury single account from 1,674 ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Office of the Accountant General of the Federation made this disclosure at peer review mechanism of ministries, departments, and agencies 2012 in Abuja to the head of civil service of the Federation. The OAGF, while making its presentation, stated that under TSA, the government has been able to save over 45 billion naira monthly in interest on ways and means that it's used to pay before the full implementation of the TSA. It was also disclosed that 50 billion naira revenue from funds have so far been mopped from commercial banks as a result of TSA implementation. Some other achievements recorded since TSA became fully operational include the elimination of cash handling cost, ability to determine consolidated federal government cash position, significant improvement in federal government liquidity position, and improved revenue collection mechanism through e-collection. And now on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has ordered an investigation into France's planned tax on tech giants, a move that could result in retaliatory tariffs. His trade representative said the U.S. was very concerned that the tax unfairly targets American companies. On Thursday, the French Parliament is due to approve a 3% levy on revenue made by such companies as Google and Facebook inside the country. France argues that these firms currently exploit global tax loopholes. Tech giants are able to locate their headquarters in low-tax countries where they declare most of their profits, thereby minimizing their tax bill. And that's it on the news update for the hour. Thank you for your time and stay tuned.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
I'm T-Wendy calling from Imo State.
My name is White calling from Bayelsa.
Hello, yes, this is Udwa calling from Akwa Ibom.
My name is John calling from Bayelsa.
Shamaka calling from Abia.
This is Toya calling from Bayelsa. I'm Divine calling from Port Harcourt.
With over 8 million listeners glued to this dial, why not take advantage
and showcase your product
and services to the world with rates that wouldn't break your back?
Visit us at number 1 Today FM Drive off East West Road, Rumekini, Port Harcourt, or our city office, 21 Orobon Crescent, GRA Phase 2, Port Harcourt.
Give us a call today on
0803 35 57 986 or 0810 128 2937.
We are your number 1 talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
Hey, you want to speed drive? Come on, go to the racetrack. You want to smoke? Not on the steering wheel. You want to drink alcohol? Don't do it on wheels. Go to a bar and don't drive afterwards. Seat belts are not for fancy. They're there to save your life. Know your traffic rules and obey them because they are for your own good. Drive with care because life is dear.
Corruption is a dishonest action that destroys people's trust. Corruption takes many forms and can be interpreted by many people in many ways. It is hard to enter into any sector in Nigeria without observing one corrupt practice or the other. The faces of corruption ranges from political, universities and college, bank sector, the civil service, even the religious bodies. In Nigeria, factors like greed, poor youth empowerment, poverty, unemployment, etc. are said to be responsible for corruption. However, no reason is good enough to be corrupt because corruption is capable of crippling our economy, raise poverty level, bring about national crises, as well as poor national development. Stop the embezzlement and misappropriation of public or government funds, bribery, malpractice, man no man, and treat all citizens equally today. A corrupt-free nation is possible. This message is powered by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Okay, all right. All you need to know about this one is that
95.1 FM? Such
a unique dial.
Wow, baby, I love what I'm saying. Let's go have some fun. Me and you together.
Do you have protection?
No, I don't have protection.
Have you checked the HIV status?
Come on, I don't womanize. I'm a clean guy.
Today, HIV and AIDS is a major global health emergency affecting all regions of the world, causing millions of deaths and sufferings. It is the leading infectious cause of adult death in the world, and about 19 million out of the 35 million people living with HIV globally do not know their HIV status. This has led to delayed treatments, spread of the virus, wrong decisions about their health, and ultimately death. You cannot protect yourself or the health of others if you don't know what to look out for. Be informed about your health and your future. Be responsible about your sex life. Get tested and know your status today. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Yesterday, like every other day, I had it all, now it's all gone.
It's been a long day.
What could be worse than HIV? HIV stigmatization. HIV stigmatization refers to the resentment, negative attitude, and abuse directed to those living with the virus. When you judge people living with HIV, it kills even more than the virus. Stop HIV discrimination and care for people living with the virus, as this will increase awareness, treatment, and testing. Don't judge people living with HIV. Get tested and know your status today. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
For crying out loud, why?
it to a thing like that to me. What on earth did I do to this?
Suicide is a practice that is fast gaining dominance in Nigeria. Suicide is the intentional act of taking one's life. Within the first quarter of 2017 alone, many Nigerians have subscribed to suicide as a means to escaping depression, severe anxiety, acute stress, terminal diseases, lack of money or hope for survival, mental disorder, or even a heartbreak. The World Health Organization revealed that no fewer than 1 million people die annually from suicide, which represents a global mortality rate of 16 people per 100,000, or 1 death in every 40 seconds. It is also a fact that approximately 10 to 20 million people attempt suicide every year. But is anything worth dying for? Suicide is a major public health concern, but it is preventable. Talk to someone when you feel depressed. You can also prevent others from a suicide attempt by contacting the Nigerian Suicide Prevention Initiative on 080-621-06493 or 080-921-06493. Choose to live today because life is beautiful. This message is powered by your premium talk radio, Today95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
You deserve more from us. From Great Talk.
Is it a celebrated feat that people should be dying? Don't we have government? I think that should be the focus and not who is behind it.
And then Chief Loveday.
What else do I say? Killing is killing.
For the attack.
News and entertainment programs.
News update here on Today 95.1 FM. Thank you for listening. Good morning.
TOFFE.
This man knows at least space.
Now you do this guy thing.
Hi, I go do this kind of thing now.
You never be this man. You never know the best way.
Honey, now your brother.
Stay glued to this dial. Today 95.1 FM, and we will do the rest.
Excellent.
Cultism is a monster whose ravaging effects have left tales of woes such as loss of lives, kidnapping, drug abuse, threats, destruction of properties, blackmail, rape, and many other ills in society. In our society today, poor parental training, peer pressure, poverty, quest for power and social identity are the leading factors that contributes to youths indulging in this act. Again, peace can be restored to our society only and only if we attach value to human lives. And this would bring about rapid development to our community. Say no to cultism. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
Here at Today, we bring you what you need to hear.
But this is what they're going after. They're not going to
Let me learn. It has to be applicable to all situations.
No, it cannot be because when the evidence.
Some people are not sure of 1 meal a day in a society with such huge potentials. If a criminal passes that place, whichever means he used in passing, and you turn around to blame the citizen, for instance, people will ask you, were you not there? Malaria kills Nigerians. Malaria.
News.
This is the World News. I am Annie Abdul Salam. In the headlines, Federal Executive
Sports
and entertainment. My name is Chubogu Najib. Straight up to football on the show.
This is Today. Every day, 24/7, 365. We are your official all-year radio station.
This is today's hustle.
One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry out your salary and go and rent one bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
You
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. Still today's hustle here on your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. My name is Femi Andrew, and it's 17 minutes past 2 o'clock, and you're welcome to the second half of the show. Before we went on that break, I was trying to tell us that we didn't hold the Today FM Anti-Cultism Summit for just the sake of holding an event. No, it wasn't for that. It was actually to really get solutions and get people working. Now, a lot of solutions were preferred at the event. Many people gave different suggestions on how we can tackle the problem. In fact, I would quickly just want to point out a case that was put out there by the Diop Vigilante Group leader when he talked about primary school children, two secondary school children who have been seen to be involved in cultism. And yesterday, our guest also was talking about parenting and talked about people saying absence of jobs is the problem. And he said something that really got me thinking. What about people in universities? You know that you're working, you don't have the documents to get a job. So your aim should be go to school. So how come we have them in school and then belong to a cult group? So it isn't really completely about providing jobs, because there are people. A case that was also pointed out by the Diop Vigilante Group, an individual who works for a particular restaurant, a fast food restaurant, popular one in Port Harcourt, who also was a member of a cult group. So, if you look at it critically, you can agree that it's not just about providing jobs. In fact, many have said that providing jobs would not solve any problem, because this has become a habit, a craving for many young people. Well, some of our stakeholders at that event, society stakeholders, also said the way, or one of the ways in which we can tackle this problem is to tackle it from our schools, primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. Many also agreed that that's the right step to take, and I'm pretty sure you think in the same direction, owing to the fact that this particular menace, whether you call it gangsterism, you call it cultism, or whatever you want to call it, whatever name you want to give it, it started in schools, tertiary institutions, and now it has gone down to primary schools, where children of as low as 10 years get initiated into one cult group or the other. They also have their own rituals that they perform and the rest of them. We're not going to go into those details, but suggestions that came at that anti-cultism summit said the school is one way we can engage fully in to tackle the problem. And that's why we'll be looking at solving that problem from the angle of our schools. How well have the schools functioned? I tried to get in touch with the chairman for the Private School Proprietors Association, but Mr. Green, he's not been taking his calls at the moment. Last time we spoke, he said he was in a meeting, and hopefully we get him before the show. But we also have some other lecturers from the University of Port Harcourt and also from the Ignatius Adjuri University of Education that we would be speaking with, that would be telling us some plans or steps that the university institutions have put in place and that secondary schools can also adopt to be able to tackle this problem of cultism. Remember, in one of the government schools recently, tear gas canister was brought to class, and it was mistakenly or intentionally or otherwise, or whichever way it was, we know that it was detonated, and that caused chaos. And what struck me wasn't just the tear gas canister. I love to look at things from a very, very logical angle, very interesting angle. When you watch that video, I'm sure everybody would be saying, Jesus. But the point I got when I looked at it is how I don't know if I should say criminal intent or survival instincts. I don't know if that's what I'll call it. But the fact that you would see kids, children, 16, 14, 13, 12, jumping from a 2-story building or 1-story building down. I don't think many kids at that age, some years back, say 10, 15 years back, I don't think they can do that. I don't think they would do that. But we saw kids jumping like it's no man's business. Just jumping down as fast as they could. Without any fear, without any, or yes, some got hurt, but it happens. And many would say adrenaline kicked in and that came in. I went to a secondary school. I schooled in Warri, my primary secondary school. There were some times that it was very difficult, especially when schools clash and have fights. It happens. There was never a time I had adrenaline rush that would force me to want to jump down for no reason at all. Would look for the stairs. But the point I'm trying to make is what kind of ideas, thoughts, beliefs, system of reasoning do these kids, little children, already imbibe owing to the society that they find themselves, the localities that they live? I was trying to speak to some little kids yesterday. They were into refuse dumping business and how they talk, the kind of language, what they think already at that little age. Their style of reasoning, how it has been patterned. Society is largely responsible for that. The kind of people, that's how we talked about parenting yesterday, but that's not what we're going to. So now we're looking at these kids all belong to a school. Why don't we have, or isn't our curriculum as a school or education system in Nigeria doing enough to tackle that problem of properly orientating the child, not just in academics, but also in morals and manner of thinking? Do we train our children on how to think and be responsible for themselves, or we just teach them books? We just teach them books. That's it. That's what we teach them. Is that the situation? How can the school be used as a tool to solve this problem of cultism? Many have said immediately after the family, the next line would be the school. That's where the child goes to next. And this has been pointed out even at the Anti-Cultism Summit, and says it can be harnessed and this can be used to solve the problem. But now the question is, how do we implement it? What strategies can be put in place to tackle that? These are some of the many questions that we need to answer. We'll try to get in touch with our guests now so we get their thoughts and views, opinions on all of these matters. First of all, we'll be speaking with two guests, Dr. Emmanuel Wona, lecturer, University of Port Harcourt, Post Science Department. And we're also going to speak with Dr. Ken Nweke, Associate Professor, English Surgery University. Both of these men over the phone, they will be talking to us about this, how the school can be a tool in tackling the problem of cultism, owing to the fact that it started from the school and now it's in the society at large. You can also tell us what you think, what your contributions might be. You can send them to us via text message or phone calls. We'll open the phone lines later on, but for now you can send in those messages to 0701 933 9962 0701 933 9962. PTA meetings, how many parents come to schools? Do schools even these days still report their kids to parents? The level of caning and the rest, I think what I observed is reduced because of the fact that many parents are not comfortable with teachers flogging their kids. The level of discipline, how high is that? What do we need to fix in schools to solve the problem? We'll find out pretty soon. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you. 95.1 FM. 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 95.1 FM.
All right, we have live with us now on the phone Dr. Emmanuel Warner from University of Port Harcourt Pole Science Department. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
A very pressing issue we have on our hands. Recently at the Today FM Anti-Cultism Summit, some suggestions were made with regards to how we can tackle the problem, the rising case of cultism in Rivers State, the Niger Delta. Rivers State as case study, we know it's a problem across Nigeria. And many said that the schools can play a very integral role in tackling the problem. And so we're asking you now, sir, what do you think can be done in schools to help tackle the problem of cultism from our tertiary institutions, where, of course, many said that the act of cultism started, down to our primary and secondary schools?
Well, first, let me say that the tertiary institutions, secondary and primary schools are part of the integral part of the Niger society. You know, if you look at it from the system theory, they are part of the larger society, and so anything that happens within the larger society will also influence these institutions. And I think that's where we need to physically focus our attention on. If the Nigerian society is sophisticated in such a manner that, you know, you have what we call faulty distributive mechanism in terms of the economic resources, in terms of the state-scarce resources, you know, if you have a situation where people are marginalized, you have a situation where there's mass unemployment, you have a situation where few individuals, because of the position they occupy in society, are swimming in the ocean of affluence, and you have the rest of them who are also wallowing in abysmal poverty and underdevelopment. You expect that there's going to be that kind of feeling of alienation and marginalization. And again, you also look at the fact that, you know, our political elite, you know, our political leaders, because of the primitive accumulation of wealth, that mentality, they see states and institutions as means of amassing wealth. And so, I think that it you know, becomes a do-or-die affair, you know, and so they resort to self-help in terms of, you know, indulging in thuggery. And these boys are the ready hands for them to use, you know, ensuring that they win elections by all means. And so they recruit them even from their universities, you know. So it becomes a problem from the larger society, and that's what is affecting students, the institutions of learning.
Okay.
And so,
well, Doc, quickly, let me put in a question here. We've had some experiences shared where we see kids of about 10 years being recruited, being initiated into different cult gangs. And the question now is, isn't the school a place where a child is supposed to be molded after the family to know that they learn about these ills in society and be disciplined enough not to get involved in some of those activities? And if there are any that is already involved, isn't the school in a place to also observe and take adequate measures or steps to tackle that problem at that early stage?
Yeah, correct. The schools, you know, are part of the socialization agents. You know, they are there for effective socialization. But unfortunately, the schools are not performing up to expectation because of what is happening in larger Nigerian society. It's a systemic problem. It's affecting the schools. You know, for instance, we find a situation where maybe teachers are not paid salaries. Teachers are owed salaries for months, and they are paid pittance. And so that morale is no longer there for effective productivity. So, you know, they have this kind of nonchalant attitude. It affects the upbringing of children even in school. You know, sometimes if you go to some public schools, you find that when the teachers are supposed to be there, they are not there. And again, you have this incessant strike here and there, and the school system is lacking in some of those basic things that they need. The teachers are not properly taken care of. And so because of that, it's like, boy, they are not my children, so why would I be killing myself? You know, that kind of thing. So I think that basically we should want to actually solve the problem of cultism in different schools. I mean, the entire Nigerian system, the political system should be taken care of in terms of ensuring that, you know, we improve on the economic well-being of the people. We ensure that there is fair and equitable distribution of resources, especially when it has to do with the educational sector, in terms of improving the well-being of the facilitators in the educational institutions. Because if you don't take care of the the trainer will not be able to train somebody. In other words, if you don't take care of the teachers or facilitators in education, of course, there will be a sort of gain academic in terms of kind of their functions. And it's affecting the kind of students we have.
What about private schools where they don't wait for the government to provide adequate environment? We also are aware that some of these kids come from private schools, even private tertiary institutions where huge monies are being paid, meaning that they come from families that could be, wealthy to an extent, yet they get involved in cultism. And aren't there measures that should be taken? For instance, you're a lecturer in University of Port Harcourt. What are the measures put in place by the University of Port Harcourt to see how they can tackle the problem of cult activities?
Well, if you say private institutions, not all of them. We have so many private institutions, that are not also well to do. They are not even paying their teachers well. Just a few of them. But be that as it may, if you look at the school, a typical school, first of all, what should be done is that from the angle of the government, they should be able to take care of teachers very well in terms of paying them their salaries, adequately and as when. And again, it should also ensure that you have up-to-date figures of students who are admitted. You need to have proper orientation. Sometimes in most schools, when students are admitted, they are not giving proper orientation. They don't know why they are there. And then, and again, like I said earlier, most students, because of the fact that, they don't even know why they are there, when they wrote their work, somebody wrote their work, the parents would hire people to write the exam for them, and that fee for academic pursuit is not there. So when they come into university, admitted in any institution, they see that, well, it's not a business, and so they are being detected by some other activities. One of them is training course, course groups. So, but then the university also has to do something that will try to reorientate the students by organizing some kind of symposia, trying to see how they can, talk to students once in a while. Student activities will also have to come in, to ensure that the students behave themselves properly. Again, it's also important that the institution should also do something to ensure that the welfare of citizens, the welfare of the students, is being taken care of. Ensure that you have adequate supply of power, adequate supply of water. Ensure that the hostels are good enough. But if you go to some schools, the hostels are not just good for human beings to stay. And again, there should be effective security network, internal security network within the campuses, within the schools, especially where you just have one or two security men who are hungry looking, to man kids in some of the schools. It's not even enough. So there should be effective internal security mechanism within schools to ensure that some of these things are contained to the extent that they will not have effect in the school academic processes. So I think that aside from what the government should do in terms of improving the welfare of both the teachers and even the students, the school authorities should ensure that there should be effective security network within the school. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Doc, for your contribution on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was a very long one, and I'm pretty sure we heard all that Doc had to say. Dr. Emmanuel Wona, the lecturer at Pole Science Department, University of Port Harcourt. Would also try to get in touch with our other guest on the show, Dr. Kenneth Weke. Hopefully, he also gets to make his contribution. But would like to know what you think about the stand of the school and tackling this problem and the school as a tool in becoming a solution to solving the problem of cultism. Yes, it was stated that everybody has to contribute its quota, but do you think that the school is doing enough? Many have said that is where the second after the family, where a child is molded. Now, with the kind of schools that we have in the country and the kind of curriculum that we run, the kind of syllabus that we have, does it adequately enhance the ability of a child and properly teach them not just books, teach them moral discipline and responsibility, so that we do not have the problem that we are having in society today. Those are questions that need to be answered. So you can use our phone lines. You can call us up on 0817 0000951. I'll take that again, 0810 0000951. Or you call us up on 0810 9510951. Remember, the SMS portal is 0701 933 9962. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Lawson, yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, you see, when people call the school, I wonder the school is a place where you have to stockpile knowledge quickly on the students. You understand? All the pupils. Now, when you look at it, school starts 8:10. From that 8:10, we are talking about academic lessons start 8:10. The devotion. You understand? In the morning devotion, they can't get enough because it's more of admonishment and punishment for those who fail to do one of these.
Isn't that why we're saying we should look at the curriculum, the country's curriculum, in our educational system generally, and begin to see how we can infuse certain things in that curriculum that can serve as a tool or a way to tackle this problem at an early stage?
Now, it was there. It has always been there, but the leaders of this country, I don't know, in their wisdom, they removed the civic education. They removed civic. It is only now that they brought it back because they are now seeing the decay. That thing, all of these things, when you talk of the moral aspect from the school angle, it was all in civic education and social studies. They, for no reason, removed civic education. Now, because they've seen the society is really going bad, they have brought it back, but are the teachers teaching is making justice, real justice to it? Because these policies that you see, when they come, they want to make them join the call. They come with so many things, different things, some goodies, different like that. Now, the only way you can defeat it is to come up with a superior argument that, look, this thing is bad. A superior argument. Are the teachers able to give that superior argument? Or are they even doing that today? Because the teachers right now, presently, not teachers of those days, just come and teach their civics, biology, chemistry, and go away. The only people who are managing to help to come to the schools to preach and teach them morals are some of these churches, you understand, that are coming in once in a while. Even with that, there is no much time for them. Little time is made for them to do that. So the civic education is there to take care of all of these things you are saying. But the question is, are they actually doing what they are supposed to do? I mean, teachers this time, or they are just teaching the civic education the way they want to teach it and move away. So for me, it still boils down to give your child that moral value, that sound moral value, before releasing him to the larger society. I still link it to the parents. When you give them that sound moral value, don't depend on teachers. Parents these days depend on teachers too much. The teacher is doing this, doing that. Sometimes the children even know the teacher more. They even argue with their parents and say, no, my teacher said this, and because my teacher said so, and that is how I will do it. Because the teacher is even closer to them than the parents. And that shouldn't be the case. Yes, that shouldn't be the case. I remember a lady, the mother was cooking. She said, food is not ready yet and you are hungry. Please take Gary. And the teacher told the girl that I think that Gary is not good. Perhaps maybe from the angle of the cyanide that is contained in the Gary. So the teacher was saying that, and this child argued with the mother and refused to drink that Gary until the mother had to call the teacher. Say, please tell her that sometimes she can also take Gary. The teacher did that. That was when the child agreed to drink that Gary and make it good. So
okay,
it's not supposed to be so.
All right, thank you.
Let us instill that sound moral value in our children.
All right, thank you very much.
Out to the larger society.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Andrew.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes, my name is Ahusi Chima.
Okay, Chima. Go ahead.
Yes, Andrew, what can the teacher do? You understand? What can the teacher do? Now, when a child came into the world, the first people that he met is what? The parents. You understand? So the parent has a major role to play. You understand? Andrew, are you hearing me? The parent has a major role. Yes. The teacher, I know that the teacher can play, but not you cannot carry all the responsibility and put on the teachers. The teacher will do nothing but little. But it's unfortunate that most of the parents today, because of they are engaged in job or whatever, you know, they seem to leave all the responsibility on their teachers. You see some parents who carry their children to school, and the next thing by 4 o'clock or 2, they went and bring the girl back. The next morning, it's just like that. You understand? And also, Andrew, we have some children that came from the same parents. You understand? Now, does it mean that all of them are bad? No, some of them are not bad. We have some children who have the moral, this character, very good character. Does it mean that so many people was better than them in terms of training? They were trained the same house, but there are still some who have children to go their own way. You understand? So the parents have a role to play, a major role. The teacher has a lesser role to play, because it's when the parents came out, when the child came out from this world, it makes sense. You understand? And the environment has a role also, the peer group where the child goes. That's very, very important. So I see nothing like the teacher here. What is teacher going to do? You understand? Some parents, even when teachers flog their child, they will take action against the teacher. It's like that. You understand? So I see not that major role, more responsibility given to the teacher. Thank you.
So, okay, thank you very much. Now, saying that the teacher, what can the teacher do? Well, let's take this call first. I'll come back to that contribution you made, and let's look at it critically. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome. Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. And you?
The topic of discussion is an interesting one. This thing now is going to affect everybody in this state and in this country. My contribution regarding this is this. I know that the school authority have a role to play, a major role at that. The parents have their own role to play. Today's society in Nigeria is becoming a very busy society. In that, in the morning like this, the man will be going out, the wife will be going out, because of the present economic state of Nigerian state today. Sometimes if they do not go out like that to go to work, there be no food for the house or in the house. You see that there's no enough time to focus on our children, bringing them up in that our cultural and moral way like it used to be. So invariably, we are depending on Nigerian government as an organized government to provide foundations, infrastructures, and institutions to inculcate moral and what have you in our children. And that government has failed. That is the main problem. If today now you give your child the little teaching or training you can give him at school, they also give them. But there is where they have enough budget, where they are recruiting cultists. If they are made to speak and easily it because it's paid. And when they are arrested, before you know it, they are released. So I know that school authority, not even teachers, school authority have a major role to play. But the bigger problem is our politicians and the system of Nigeria government of today. That is the main and the major problem that is breeding cultism in Nigeria today. So in as much as I'm coming, I have no language. In as much as we are telling our school authorities, if you watch, you can see that in private schools of today in Nigeria, you rarely see any court group or court is emanating from private school in Nigeria because it's well focused and well managed. It's mostly in government schools that you see this court is private. What is the budget? How are the teachers and the workers of the school being taken care of? Some are being owed for 5 months. Telling them to come and teach your child good morals. You come to school with something to sell. We plan how to stop those students because they are not being paid. Some of the teachers are even in that court, in those commercial, in those public schools. So the problem is not from the schools, but from the government of Nigeria. If a state governor is arrested and all the state is taken from him, police and what have you, he will fall back to the what you call court group as his own pressure group to fight back and get back his office.
Okay.
So it's a major problem. And we are praying that God should help us.
Thank you very much. So now, thought is we should, are we saying rejuvenating the school system would be one major way to solve this? Hello to the 95.1 FM. Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, when I was in my SS2, there is a boy in SS1 that tried to confuse me. I was in SS2. As far back as 1997. So what I want to say is there are some persons, naturally, they like joining court.
At that time, did you report the boy?
No, I did not report to anybody.
Okay.
I know that the school authority, they know that this boy was into courses. And as long as that boy is at of that time, he was necessary and he had Celestine with him. He had these 7 books of Moses with him. Doing some certain concussion in the school. A small boy, that boy should be less than 15 years as of then. Yeah, even the school authority knows that these boys, they are into courses, but nothing was done. The school has a role to play in order to curtail the rate of increase in courtesy. The issue is that most of the teachers today, they are into courtesy. So how can you, as a teacher now, you know that your fellow teachers in courtesy, you want to bring in policies that can victimize his court members? So it will not work. It will not work. We have a very big problem for which to curtail courtesy in Nigeria because it will not work for all sectors of the economy. They are courtesy in the judiciary, the police, the army, the navy, the air. If they can form a body, I will track those boys who are into courtesy and give them punishment, not just prosecuting them will not do anything because if you prosecute a student in the university, go to the villages and they form their own small clique. There, they will not solve any problem. But if they are arrested and they are detained, they give them punishment to serve. At least it's best to reduce those of them that are afraid of police. They will stop. But if you just rusticate, they will rusticate them and they will go to the street and they form their own clique. That was that some boys are doing when I was in my one. They will rusticate them, but they will still go into courtesy. It's not in my one. I know how they determined to join court, but because nobody told me I should not join court, but in my mind, there's something in my mind that said I will not join court. So sometimes it's not about parental upbringing. Some people, no matter what the parents teach them, when they go to the school, they still join court.
Is that we lost that call there? Hello to the 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yes, depending on the line.
Go ahead.
I just want to add my own view to what people have said already. From my own experience, I think that most of the students, 50% of the students now in urban schools don't come to school early in the morning to be at the devotion. They will come to school from 8 o'clock. And 40% of them are house help. Those that they are staying with will not allow them to go to school until 8 or 8:30. They will ask them, go and open shop. Go and carry my children to a private school. You ask a word that stays with you. Send my children to a private school by 7:30. And he or she will come back to your house to do more work. And you allow him or her to go to school by 8:30. Before they come to school, devotion has finished. Where moral lessons are taught, they don't enjoy it any day. From the day 1 to 6 years in secondary school, they will never enter morning devotion. How do you expect that child to grow up? It's part of the problem. So I want to enjoy those that haven't worked. Release that child that you have promised to send to school, to go to school. Latest 7:40. Don't keep children that you promised to send to school to be in your house till 9 o'clock when you have gone to work. It's part of the problem. You see them, if you want to check the courses in school, they will never enter morning devotion also. They are always on the road. They are calculating. Oh boy, this time we have to wait after morning devotion before we enter school. You will see them on the road. So we are see, law enforcement agencies, check the roads. All these students you see on the road, and those boys and girls that are dodging morning devotion. They don't want to be there. It's part of the problem. That is my take.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, Andrew.
You're
How
welcome.
are you today?
Very fine, thank you.
Yeah, Mufasa, I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Mufasa.
Well, you see, a lot of people have spoken quite extensively on this issue, and I want to believe that every point made is, is very, very vital. But then again, in as much as parents do have a role to play in ensuring that they shape and mold their words, in terms of moral etiquette and standard, I also want to believe that, you see, teachers, they have a very, very big role to play in the lives of, these kids and students. I say so because, back in the day, there used to be this high level of discipline. When you send your children to school, when we went to school, there's this discipline. We used to respect our teachers because teaching was considered a very noble profession. Even the society respects teachers. But what do we have these days? We see a lot of people going to the teaching profession just because they need a job, not because of the passion they have for teaching. So they don't even care about how these children, how they behave, how they go about, that moral ethics and standard. It goes beyond knowing what English and mathematics is. It has a lot to do with discipline. There's no discipline anymore in our institution, especially when it comes to primary and secondary school, which is that stage is a build-up stage. Because if you try to build up a child from that stage, you're definitely not going to have a functional adult in the society. So to me, the teachers are not really, the kind of teachers we have these days are not the type of teachers we have back in the day. Okay? That discipline is no longer there. The teachers themselves are not even disciplined. So you can't give what you don't have. So what you see today are, rascals, children in primary and secondary school are even, they get initiated in court and court-related activities. So that is a very big problem. So the solution is this. I want the system to begin to, get our teachers trained more. We need more trained teachers, people who have the passion for teaching, not just people who are looking for a job and they just needed something to eke out a living for themselves. That is my position. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Hello to the 95.1 FM. Good afternoon. All right, watch that one. Let's go to the SMS portal and see how much of your messages we can take in the next few minutes before we conclude on the show. And quite a lot of them we have here. Kelly from Port Harcourt says, I don't think it's for real that people are calling on schools to model their kids. Parents should model kids after their own family values. Of course, we're not saying that parents shouldn't, yes, but we all are aware that after the family, the school comes next. So if there is a break in the chain, there would be a problem. So we should ensure that when kids, if we sort out the problem of family or proper parenting, then we also have to ensure that schools and teachers who handle the kids next do not in any way contribute to developing negative ideas in the life of a child. That's the aim. To end cultism in our institutions in Nigeria, government should hand over our lower and higher institutions to missionaries to manage, where good morals will be impacted to pupils and students. Singer Bruce. That's a good idea, but we also know that even from religious schools, we have a lot of children who have come out who are who've become constituted nuisance in many ways to society. So it's a very serious question. I think the problem is not just who's doing it, but how they are handling this problem. Cultism as a monster club from our primary to secondary school through orientation seminars, public enlightenments, jingles, town hall meetings, PTA meetings that would involve students from Esogwa, Ogochukwueke can be curbed. Okay? When people say the Igbos didn't vote for APC, it sounds childish. Didn't Carlo Okocha Obiano and others from the Southeast vote for APC, Mr. Law? Okay, that is just for the first half of the show. I think it's just coming in now. I'm very sorry about that. Good day, presenters. I'm Franco Confidence. That the fight against cultism should start from home and not school. Allowing your child to become a cultist under your watch shows parental failure and gross irresponsibility, because cultism is the byproduct of a dysfunctional family and lack of basic home training. And finally, good day, presenter, to curb cultism at any level. It will take God alone, but since we normally relegate God, other ways will likely fail. Delight from Enneka. And that's the much you can take on the show. Thank you all very much for your time, for your contribution, and for your efforts. But remember this, it's all in our hands. We have to do the little that we can to train our children properly, to correct your cousin, your nieces, your nephews when you see them going astray. If you say it's not my child, then that child might become the one that steals your phone tomorrow or initiates your own nephew, son, brother, sister tomorrow. So you have to do your bit to see that we help to sensitize young people to solve this problem. Thank you very much for your time, calls, and text messages. My name still is Ifeami Andrew. The news update is next. Bye-bye for now.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about.
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your Premium Talk Radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon, here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifeami Andrew. In commemoration of the 2019 Africa Anti-Corruption Day, Nigerians have been advised to shun illicit activities in and outside the country. Speaking during a road walk to mark the celebration, the head of Operation Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Port Harcourt Zone, Abdul Rashid Bawa, called on all Nigerians to join in the fight against corruption. Bawa further noted that a huge success has been made in the fight against corruption with the recovery of over 80 billion naira over the last 3.5 years. He also identified whistleblowing as one of the strategies in the fight against corruption. Our correspondent Precious Nwauko reports that the road walk commenced from the zonal headquarters of the EFCC down to Garrison Junction and back to the office. The theme for this year is winning the fight against corruption. And some Niger Delta ex-agitators under the federal government's amnesty program have accused the federal government of abandoning them after the first phase of their training in the maritime sector in Sweden. Some of the aggrieved ex-agitators who spoke to our correspondent Chinidu Iwuna said the second phase of the training program was meant to help them acquire a certificate of competence to enable them secure a job. They said since the first phase was completed in Sweden in 2014, all their efforts to get the federal government sponsored the second phase as promised have proved abortive. The ex-agitators therefore appealed to the federal government to fulfill their promise to enable them acquire the certificate of competence, which would enable them practice as maritime workers. The ex-agitators also threatened to stage another protest if their demands were not met. And a chieftain of the APC in Rivers State, Kingsley Wali, has said the Nigerian police force must begin to reveal the rationale for transferring commissioners of police out of the states. Wali said this in reaction to the deployment of CP Usman Dandaura as the new commissioner of police in Rivers State. He said citizens of the state must be told why a commissioner of police is being transferred, especially based on his performance while in office, adding that there is a chance security operatives lobbied to be deployed to Rivers State because of financial benefits. On the persistent insecurity in the state, Wali said there is need for the political class, irrespective of party leaning, to tone down the tension, just as he advised the governor to privately visit President Muhammadu Buhari and seek for help like other governors do. There you heard. And on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has ordered an investigation into France's planned tax on tech giants, a move that could result in retaliatory tariffs. His trade representative said the U.S. was very concerned that the tax unfairly targets American companies. France argues that these firms currently exploit global tax loopholes. French Parliament is due to approve a 3% levy on revenue made by such companies as Google and Facebook inside the country. Tech giants are able to locate their headquarters in low-tax countries where they declare most of their profits, thereby minimizing their tax bill. That's it on the news update. Thank you for your time. Stay tuned.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Sunshine or rain, through every terrain.
Everywhere I turn, it's football, football. There's your fairy tale.
So why not join in the action, intrigues, excitement, and fun?
Just doesn't get better than this.
Many stars have continued to shine with every ace, every race, every break, and every other sports there is.
Incredible stuff.
On today's Sports Live, reaching you from your premium news, talk, and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
That sounds like so much fun.
Weekdays after the news at 3. It's interactive, it's engaging, and don't forget, your voice is priority.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
You know, there are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
right, good afternoon and welcome to, of course, another edition of Today's Sports Live, reaching you from the studios of a premium news, talk and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM, here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. Today is the 11th day of July 2019. My name is Wisdom Obinna and I'll be your anchor on the show today. Joining me in the studio to do justice to the loads of stories we have are, of course, the top striker, Emmanuel Chibuzo. Top striker, welcome to the show.
Wisdom Obinna, good afternoon. A pleasure being here this afternoon.
All right, Chidubem Njoku also joins us on this one. Chidubem, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Wisdom. Good afternoon, everyone here at Port Harcourt as well.
All right, the sports diva, Dorcas Cookie, joins us also on the program. Dorcas, welcome to the show.
It's always fun to be here. Good afternoon to you and to the guys listening out there. Good afternoon to you all.
All right, on the menu today, we have, of course, the All England Club, Wimbledon, where Wimbledon women's semi-finals. We have Wimbledon women's semi-finals. Simona Halep, yes, she has actually made it into her first final this time. And, of course, we'll also be previewing the men's final that should be ongoing tomorrow. The game between Serena Williams and Barbora Strikova is also on our screens. We'll be telling you all that transpired, of course, en route the semi-finals and, of course, what has been ongoing already. Boxing is also on the menu. Yes, we got some report earlier this week that Fury and Wilder will be facing in January, and a lot of people have been looking forward to that one. But we hear from the camp of one of the boxers that the fight might take longer than expected because they have not actually agreed anything. One of the camps denying that they've agreed something. Of course, no one will forget what happened last night. Call it a magic moment. The goal from William Troost Ekong. Call it a mistake, as the South Africans have tagged it. But of course, Super Eagles players are also speaking. A lot of them after that win against Bafana of South Africa. We critically looking at what happened, bringing you the details, the blow by blow, and of course the aftermath of the game between South Africa and Nigeria, as much as the games that will be coming up today. Yes, it's day 2 of the quarter-final stage. We will know our opponents today, hopefully, in the game between Ivory Coast and Algeria. The show is packaged to be interactive, so we encourage you to be part of it by hitting us on any of our feedback platforms or interactive platforms. For SMS or WhatsApp is 0701 933 9962. That is 0701 933 9962. Or you can tweet at us at Today FM 951. That is Today FM 951. Or you can also copy me at Wisdom_OB. That is Wisdom_OB. Or you can also tweet at Emmanuel 93001. That is Emmanuel 9001. And we move straight to England. And of course, we start off with the Wimbledon Open, where Simona Halep eased into her first Wimbledon final with a straight sets victory over Elina Svitolina. Romanian 7th seed Halep wrapped up a 6-1, 6-3 victory over the Ukrainian 8th seed in 1 hour 13 minutes. She will play 7-time Wimbledon champion Serena Williams or Barbora Strikova in Saturday's final. It's one of the best moments of my life, said Halep, whose previous best finish at Wimbledon was reaching the 2014 semi-finals. Let's take a listen to Simona Halep.
Well, it's an amazing feeling and I'm really excited and also nervous because of this. It's one of the best moments of my life, so I'm trying just to enjoy as much as possible and to be happy that I could go through the final. Well, it was not that easy as the score shows because every game was very long and very deep, so I fought really hard to win this match. She's an amazing player and always tough to play against her, so I think I played the right tactic and I was very strong mentally and physically.
All right, that was Simona Halep cruising into the finals of the Wimbledon Open. While unseeded, Barbora Strikova says she will have no fear when she beats to halt Serena Williams' charge towards an 11th Wimbledon singles final today. Yes, the game is already ongoing as we speak. The Czech at 33, the oldest first-time Grand Slam women's semi-finalist, of course, is already taking on the 7-time champion, talking about already It's already taking on, of course, the 23-time Grand Slam champion, talking about Serena Williams. And let's quickly just run through the fixtures again, just in case we missed anything. The game between Elina Svitolina and Simona Halep is already over. Serena Williams will be coming up against Barbora Strykova. The game is already ongoing between Serena Williams and Barbora Strykova. And of course, later tomorrow, that is, Novak Djokovic will come up against Roberto Bautista Agut, while Rafael Nadal will face Roger Federer in the other semi-finals of the men. Those ones will be coming up tomorrow. But of course, today is all about the ladies. Let me start with you, top striker. Can Serena Williams, with what you've seen so far in this matchup, can Serena Williams hold her own against Barbora Strykova?
Of course, if she curtails her first errors and try to be more clinical in her return serve, she can get this one off her back. But of course, I think the pressure might be coming back to her gradually with the knowledge that she needs to win a 24 Grand Slam title. But of course, on paper, Strykova should be no match for Serena Williams. But of course, in recent times, we've seen how she has struggled against the lesser opponents in court to get this one off her back. Perhaps the burden of 24 was so much on her that she was making so many errors. She's leading 2-1 as we speak at the moment. The first set is still on. Of course, like I said, if she curtails her first errors, she just made one again. I think she just might nick this one on the board. She's had a good tournament so far. She said that the amount of games she's played this week, she has not played at this small number of games in the last 5 months. So I think she's finding her rhythm back, and she says she's impressed, that she feels relieved she can play tennis again. So of course, let's wait and see if she gets this one off her back. Simona Halep is waiting for whoever qualifies for this one. Of course, I'm tipping Serena Williams to get the better of Strykova and make it to the final, and perhaps 24 might just be somewhere looking around for her.
All right, let me come to you, Dorcas. Simona Halep found a way to get to the finals. Any surprises for you looking at the fact that some have even said she's not very good on grass?
In that she's not good on grass, she came here to prove herself, to prove her critics wrong, because I think yes, she's not a favorite when it comes to grass court, but this time around she is here and she's here to stay. She was the former world number 1, so yes, we're expecting that whenever she goes to any tournament, any Grand Slam, she's supposed to be a favorite. We don't care if it's on any court, if it's on grass, if it's on clay, if it's on the hard court, we do not care. But all we know is she is, just like Serena Williams would say that she's always a favorite in any tournament she goes into, even if she might not get to win that particular one. So for Halep, no surprise for me. Yes, probably I would say, because it wasn't a favorite court, I might have said one way or the other that she might not have gone this far, but she's here to stay. And let's see who's going to join her in the finals. If it's Serena Williams, I am hoping she goes far to equal Margaret's court record if she can get to do it. No pressure on her in any way. But if it's the other Strykova, so anyone that goes to the final to meet her, then I know it's going to be really feisty. That's the final is going to be really feisty for anybody that goes to join her in the finals.
Dubem, who faces Halep in the finals?
I would easily say Serena Williams, but it will not be easy. It won't be that easy on the court, as you have seen already. I think Serena is struggling because she's old. How old is she? 37 years. She's not the youngest of players. Even for a man, it's quite tough to play at 37. And for a woman, we understand our body systems are not the same. It's quite a different case for women and men when you compare how much they deteriorate when it comes to the physical strength now. And Serena has defied all odds to play at the top level, even at 37. I mean, it's amazing to watch her play. And it's kind of deafening to think that she's still the favorite at her age, but I think she's got all it takes to move past this one. She will struggle, especially if she manages to lose the first set. Then you think that she's going to dig deep to get the second one, because it looks like some of these younger players, they just take advantage of her age and want to stretch her on the courts and send the ball wide apart and make her run up and down, and doing that she might not be able to keep up with the pace of the game. But I'm thinking the experience now will count for her. That's what I'm hoping.
So you're seeing Serena in the finals?
I think she should be in the final.
To add up to what Chidubem said, I think in Serena Williams' first 2 games, that was in the first and second round, she wasn't really physical. She didn't bring everything to the court. But immediately after that mixed double with Andy Murray, we saw a new kind of Serena Williams, and she has been running here and there on court. She was hitting everything that passes her way. She was stretching, she was volleying, everything that she could do. It has been a long time we got to see this, from Serena Williams. She said this is her best year so far ever since the Australian Open, but now she's getting into the groove. So I would personally want to think that Serena Williams will go forward to the finals, but let's see how this game is going to pan out, because like I said, in women's play, we do not know what will happen. Anything can happen at any time. So whichever one that goes to the final to miss Simona Halep, it will be good for them. But I still would think that Serena Williams will go forward.
All right, a full house we have right here. Emeka Dena joins us in the program. Emeka, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Superman. Good afternoon to the fans. Good afternoon to the fans out there, of course. Good to be here on the show.
All right, Emeka, let's look straight into tomorrow. I call it the bigger part because we know what it is when it comes to those three guys. Aside, Dorcas would argue with me that the female part is competitive.
Not just Dorcas.
I have lost it behind
men and women. They are playing the same game. So.
But of course, Emeka, let's look at the men's semi-finals that will be coming up tomorrow. First of all, the one between Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. I think the one between Novak Djokovic and Roberto Bautista looks a little one-sided. But the one between Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, how do you see it panning out, looking at the history between these two guys, Emeka?
Well, it's massive. Unfortunately, they haven't played so many games at Wimbledon. You know, their last meeting at Wimbledon was 11 years ago. That 2008 final, very epic. I saw that one. And you know, till date, it's one of the greatest matches, you know, in a Grand Slam till date. Yeah. And you know, that match was delayed by rain on that occasion. It spanned about 7 hours. But in total, the match lasted for about 4 hours. And he went the way of Rafael Nadal, and that was just his first. That was his first, Wimbledon title before he eventually beat Bedik, a few years later to clinch a second title. You know, each time these two guys meet, you know, it's usually massive. You know, this will be their 40th meeting. You know, 25 of the previous 39 has gone the way of Nadal, and of course Roger Federer winning only 14 of those 39 meetings. So there's everything to play for. Both players have looked very good in this tournament so far. You know, Roger Federer defying the age and perhaps physical condition to get this far, and in the way and manner he has done it so far, beating Nishikori, coming from a set down in the quarterfinal to eventually win in 4 sets against Nishikori. Nadal himself was very imperious in the last match he played against Sam Querrey, winning in space 7-5, 6-2, 6-2. Before then, it was a 6-2, 6-2, 6-2 scoreline against Jack Sosa in the 4th round. So, they've looked very good. But of course, we know that of the two players, Roger Federer is better on clay. Even as things stands right now, I still put my money on Roger Federer to get it right over Nadal tomorrow. But you never can tell. When Nadal plays Federer or Djokovic, it's a different Nadal altogether, because he knows that their rivalry is still there. Even though they are friends, they are good friends, but come on, there's still something to play for. He's eyeing a 19th Grand Slam that will just keep him just one behind Roger Federer. So it's enough motivation for him to go there and do his best to see how he can stop Roger Federer tomorrow. Federer himself knows that if he gets one more, he'll pull away from Nadal before that, and perhaps he retires in a few years' time and becomes the all-time greatest in terms of number of Grand Slams. So there's everything to play for tomorrow, and we look at this one and see how massive it's going to be. I will put my money on Roger Federer to win tomorrow.
That's surprising from a Nadal person.
Yeah, I personally do not want to make us say that.
He's not the best. This is not clay.
This is not his strength.
Both of them as French Open.
I'll put my phone on
Nadal dispatched him quite easily. But this is French Open, you understand?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is Wimbledon.
Wimbledon
is grass. And this is where Roger Federer has won most of the Grand Slam he has won. 8 of them in the past. Not even to his pace. Sampras with 7 rivaled him. So at the end of the day, you can't, underrate such a person. In spite of his age, he's playing beautiful tennis. He doesn't spend too much time on court. He finds a way to play attacking tennis, and he was speaking ahead of this match tomorrow. He said he's going to be offensive. It's left to be seen whether Nadal will be able to match him, but he's going to be offensive. So he's giving out his tactics. So expect offensive tennis against tomorrow when Nadal faces Roger Federer.
Top striker. You're just waiting to laugh.
Nadal's aggressiveness for me will be key against Roger Federer. Whenever they play, he has always been an aggressive player against Roger Federer. I think on that premise, looking at the last time they also met on grass, Nadal had a bragging right over him. So I think on that premise, I'll put my money on my phone on Nadal to beat Federer tomorrow.
I'll collect your phone.
I personally would not want to. The thing is, in as much as I love both guys, but I definitely love one more than one. Yes, when it comes to Roger Federer, I don't joke with him. He's a person that made me love the sport. So I would want to say that whenever he meets Nadal, it's always so difficult for him to get through. But on grass, we might say he's a favorite. But in recent times, even if it's not surface when it comes to Rafael Nadal, he has been able to one way or the other try to move forward if possible. And this tournament he has shown that, and we got to see it. So yes, it might not be Roger Federer's game, but let's just see how that one is going to pan out. I personally do want Roger Federer to win because I want him to defy all odds. He's a centurion when it comes to Wimbledon now, so whatever he wants to do. So far, I believe that he really wants to break more record when it comes to Wimbledon, and for me, I think that's also going to propel him to go forward and win the title.
All right, Dubem, quickly, we have not talked about the other part of it because that game doesn't have as much rivalry as this one, but Novak Djokovic will be coming up against Roberto Bautista Agut. Do you see any surprises or maybe shockers right there, maybe from the side of Roberto Bautista?
Well, if Novak winning Agut will pass as a surprise, then that's the only surprise I see happening. But fortunately, that's not going to be a surprise. So I think Djokovic is going to properly dispatch Agut. It's by no means underrating the man, but it's what it is. Novak Djokovic, when he's not sick, when I mean sick, when he's not injured, he's always on fire. He's very difficult to stop. It always takes extra work, and most times maybe one of the big three to stop him. And at the rate he's going, we can't forget how imperious he was just at the Australian Open in January. He was more like, we're talking about, at that point it was about him even matching up with Roger Federer. That was the whole talk then. If he would eventually do it, maybe get 3 more Grand Slams and match up with Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. And the man, it doesn't seem he's looking back. At this stage, he looks like the man for the money. As much as Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer are still in the mix, you can't get your eye off Novak Djokovic. I think he's got the age on his side. He's the younger of the three of them. He's still gunning for more because he's still far back at 15 Grand Slams, still 5 behind Roger Federer, and it's no better way to close that gap than now. I think he's going to cruise past Agut and win the title eventually.
All right, I think from the statements we already know the sites everyone is on, so there'll be no need to still take outright predictions. Let's move straight to boxing, and of course,
but before then,
the results.
Serena Williams is running away with the first set,
4-1
up, on the brink of making it 5-1 right now. She has 2 game points there to make it 5-1. So against Barbara Strikova, it looks like she might eventually take the first set right there.
All right, it seems like she might be good, but I think Barbara Strikova might not exactly be the biggest of pushes for a certain Williams. But let's move to boxing, where Deontay Wilder's team, they have actually come out to deny a deal that a deal has been struck to face Tyson Fury next February, and insisting talks are still ongoing. Now, earlier this week, the Gypsy King claimed his fight against the American star were tied down, but Wilder's co-manager Shelley Finkel has revealed Fury's claims is false, with other dates on the table. Ahead of the eagerly anticipated rematch, Finkel added there are dates in match available with nothing concrete yet. Finkel's claim goes against what the British star had said, as he suggested the fight date was set in stone. Emeka, are we going to see this fight eventually happening between February and March, or the probabilities doesn't look likely?
No, it's surprising. The statement coming from the camp of Deontay Wilder earlier today. Shelley Finkel, the co-manager of Deontay Wilder, granted an interview to The Sun in UK, denying claims by Fury himself earlier this week, like you pointed out, that fight has been sealed for February 22nd. I mean, I wonder why Tyson Fury will even come out to tell us, in the first place, that he has sealed the deal. I mean, there should have been a joint statement from the two camps. True. If we have agreed on something, there should be, a press conference to announce that fight. We sign the dotted lines and eventually tell the world that we have sealed a deal for a rematch between these two heavyweights. But that was not the case. Tyson Fury himself, in a separate interview with another media outlet, came and told the whole world that he has sealed that deal. And a few days after, here we are, and Shelley Finkel is telling us something different. Whether we will see that fight or not is still in doubt as it stands right now, because they have to first agree. After agreeing, then we can talk about announcement, and of course, the agreement will entail the date and the financial details of the fight, the location as well, and all that. Now, Tyson Fury's information wasn't even complete. He didn't tell us where that fight was going to take place. You understand? So that's to tell you that there wasn't perhaps a very a concrete agreement in the first place. Finkel has said discussions are still ongoing, meaning that they're looking at the possibility of February or March. So let's hope that they will eventually tidy the loose ends and eventually come up with a date and venue for that fight. I want to see that rematch. They have unfinished business, both fighters. the December fight ended in a draw, controversial draw. A lot of people believe Tyson Fury won that one, but of course, the rematch will be the time to settle all that. Hopefully, we'll get a winner when it eventually happens. But come on, I'm thinking that we'll eventually still see that fight.
Well, Chidubem, why do you think Fury came out to tell the whole world that the date has been fixed for the bout when maybe there was nothing like that?
I think sometimes Fury acts on impulse. He just enters his head and he says it, and it's been working for him. That's been his style. It's a brand. Fury is a brand, and that's exactly what he tells you. On Instagram, he's always a big talker. He's always talking now and then, and it's difficult to stop him from talking. And perhaps the man just jumped the gun because it was a personal statement, not a statement from his managers or from the team generally. And I'm thinking that perhaps he jumped the gun. Like I said, he should have waited a little for them to fine-tune it, because when I heard it, the first thing that came to my head was, why announce it now, especially from the side of Deontay Wilder, considering the fact that he has a fight against Luis Ortiz, and it would have amounted to, painting Luis Ortiz as a baby if you want to fix a date for a match that you're not even sure will happen. Because what happens if Luis Ortiz defeats Deontay Wilder? So at that point, I thought it was not the right thing to do, and I'm not too surprised now that we're hearing a counter statement, because the camp of Deontay Wilder should be thinking that way, that we can't be fixing a date for a fight rather, when we still have one in front of us. We have to face what's in front of us before we start thinking of the next one. So I think in the coming days we'll get the better news. We might see. I think the fight will come up next year as touted, but the date is what we don't know. I think in time we're going to find out. But for Tyson Fury, it was just a matter of jumping the gun.
Okay, right. Top striker. Let's look at the two sides of the coin. That's the Fury side and the Wilder side. What is taking this match so long, or this deal so long to be finalized? We heard at some point that there's been a sanction for them to actually do a rematch, since nobody actually won that one in quotes. But ever since, we've seen both fighters go their separate ways, and everybody keeps speculating. It's going to 1 year now. By next year, by that February match now, we should be thinking of 1 year, since that first fight happened. What is actually taking it so long?
And of course, Wisdom, I think first and foremost, it's no longer news that Tyson Fury signed a contract with a new ESPN. And of course, he has to make money. He shouldn't have to rush it. That first bout with Deontay Wilder was because he was a man who was just coming back from all the issues he had. So perhaps he just needed to get himself back into reckoning. Now, that bout, he has told the world that I'm still the man to beat. I'm still Tyson Fury. I had my problems in the past, but right now I'm back. So right now, he's not going to rush into that bout like someone who is desperate to get a fight. So perhaps that's why it's taking so long a time. He's signed a new contract with ESPN. So right now, he has to get some other fight. But of course, big questions I've always asked. What if Luis Ortiz caused an upset in the rematch against the Deontay Wilder? Are we still going to see that bout, the rematch between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder? That's another question, food for thought. So right now, I think that Tyson Fury has told the world that I'm still a big name when it comes to this division. So perhaps the first bout we saw between these two guys was because Tyson Fury needed that bout to let the world know that I'm still an A-list boxer. And he got that bout. So right now, the world now knows he's not getting all the endorsements he wants to get, all the big signings he's getting. So he's not going to rush into that fight like someone who is desperate to get the fight the first time we saw it. So right now, it's not as a matter of two people who won the fight badly. Of course, perhaps why he put up that statement was, Tyson Fury is one man who, like Chidubem said, he just wants to get into the news. Let me just put this in the cause and stay out there. Let me just make a statement of intent. So right now, he has put that statement. We are not getting counter feedback. We didn't agree on this fight. So for me, he wants to let the world know that he's back. And right now, he's back indeed. So I will not be surprised if we don't even get to see that fight towards it until the end of, say, next year. So I think, let's get the fight between Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder off. What if there was an upset in that bout? Are we still going to see the rematch? Nobody talks about Joshua and Deontay Wilder anymore because of he lost his bout to what's the name?
Andy Ruiz.
So let him get that bout off his bet first before we now start talking about something else. For me, I think Tyson Fury just wants to put a statement, cause a bit of a controversy like we are getting right now. So that's what his intention has always been. He's a man who is not rushing to get any bout anymore. The fight will come and look for him, which he's doing right now. He's an elite boxer. I think he's ranked number 1 in the division at the moment. So right now, Deontay Wilder and his camp will have to come look for him, because truly, If not for those 2 knockdowns, people felt he won that bout. For Deontay Wilder, he knew what he also felt in the hands of Tyson Fury. So at the moment, he's not that boxer who is clamoring and looking for fights to get his name back on that list. He's already there. We know what he can do. He talks a lot, but of course, he matches words with action when he gets into the court. But of course, just a bit of a distraction. Serena Williams has won the first set, 6-1. So right now, second set is on. This might just be a stroll in the park for him.
I tell you, I said it and I still say it again. I don't think Barbara might be a match. But quickly, Dorcas, what will happen if Anthony Joshua beats Andy Ray and picks up those 3 belts? Now, Anthony Joshua might be an easy meet, for any of these boxers to think about. Aren't we going to see a little twist to the tale if Anthony Joshua manages to take back all the belts from Andy Ray Jr.?
When he gets the belt, that's if he eventually gets it, people are going to come for him. This time around, he's going to sit and watch people, scroll on your feet to come beg him to get the fight. Eventually, I think why we keep hearing of this Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight is because Fury really wants the belt that Deontay Wilder has right now. So when you have a belt, you have so many friends and everybody wants to come fight with you, and that's what is going to. That's what I think Anthony Joshua will enjoy when he eventually gets a massive win, if he gets to win that against Andrew Jr. But for now, nobody is saying that because he has no belt anymore. But immediately he wins those back, everybody will come calling for a fight from him.
All right, we'll go on a little commercial break, and once we return, we'll be moving straight to Egypt, to what happened yesterday between the Super Eagles and, of course, the Bafana of South Africa.
Breaking news. NBA Forex and Capital Investment Limited, your #1 Forex institute in Nigeria, launches a new office at Waterlines, Port Harcourt. All residents of GRA, Waterlines, D-Line, Stadium Road, and Old GRA, you now have the opportunity to enroll and invest with NBA Forex and Capital Investment Limited at #159 Aba Road, Waterlines Junction, Port Harcourt, River State. And remember, the old office still remains at GU Ake Road, adjacent to Unity Filling Station, Elioso, Port Harcourt. Or you can also call 0808-595-3225, 0816-295-3970, or 0705-461-3070. Or you can send an email to info@mbaforex.org. NBA Forex and Capital Investment Limited, your journey to financial freedom.
No tension, you are waiting, by the grace of God, you shall
All right, welcome back. The show is still Today Sports Live, reaching you from the studios of a premium news talk and sports radio station, Today95.1 FM, here in the city of Port Harcourt. I'll move straight to the camp of the Super Eagles, where Super Eagles head coach Kenneth Ross says his players showed great attitude in the AFCON 2019 quarterfinal win against the Bafana of South Africa at the Cairo International Stadium yesterday. Ross also acknowledges the support of the home fans who came out in large numbers to support the Super Eagles in the game. The 3-time winners outplayed the Bafana for the majority of the game in what was unarguably their best performance of the competition so far. The win meant the Super Eagles have now reached the semi-finals of the AFCON finals for the 15th time in 18 appearances. Villarreal winger Samuel Chukwueze put the Super Eagles ahead in the 27th minute, scoring after receiving a pass from Alex Iwobi. Of course, Bongani Zungu leveled scores for South Africa in the 68th minute with a header that gave Daniel Akpeyi no chance. William Troost-Ekong, however, scored the winning goal a minute before half-time. The support from the home fans was fantastic. They were fantastic all through the game, but my players also showed good attitude and we played very well, especially in the first half, which also gave them something to cheer about. I hope they continue to support us in the tournament, Ross stated during his interaction with the media after the game. The Super Eagles win will face the winner of Côte d'Ivoire versus Algeria quarterfinal game on Sunday, also at the Cairo International Stadium. And Raw is already anticipating a tough clash. Quoting him again, he said things will get more difficult in the competition now since we'll meet Algeria or Côte d'Ivoire in the semi-final. Meanwhile, Super Eagles defender William Troost-Ekong insists the side must remain focused on the next task after edging out the Bafana of South Africa to reach the semi-finals of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt. Let's take a listen to William Troost-Ekong.
I think they're both very good teams again. I don't think we could say we prefer one of the teams. I think before this game, everyone was talking about Egypt and then South Africa beat them. Now we've beat South Africa after everyone said that they were in great form. So we'll be ready for either Algeria or Ivory Coast. I think we played Algeria in the last few years as well, so we know what they're about. But I think they're probably the most informed team in this tournament. But either way, we're going to have to be ready. If we want to win this cup, then we have to beat everyone.
All right, winger and vice-captain Ahmed Musa has highlighted the importance of the side's win against the Bafana of South Africa in the AFCON 2019 quarter-final encounter at the Cairo International Stadium, and also spoke about the young stars in the team.
As you can see, for Samuel, he had a very fantastic game today and he scored a goal. And with time, he's going to be one of the best players we have in the Super Eagles. As you can see, in the next how many years will not be here. So definitely we need someone like them to come in the Super Eagles for now, so that they will get more experience. For our defender, our Wazem, as you can see, he have a very wonderful tournament. It's not that easy. That is not his main position, but he was adopt and then play very good. Today he have a very wonderful game. So I would say we are coping each game, and now we don't have to choke.
Of course, there will be some games today. As we told you, we will know our opponents at the end of today. The time is 5 p.m. Just in about an hour and 14 minutes time. Ivory Coast will be coming up against Algeria, while Madagascar will face off against Tunisia. And of course, quickly, guys, we all saw what happened yesterday. And let me start with you, Emeka. Can we say now that Raw is tactically sound? Now, we saw the changes made. A lot of people still have their arguments and doubts about him. But from what we saw yesterday, even with some of us who were not impressed, can we now say, okay, from what we saw him put out in terms of the lineup, this man is a tactically sound manager?
Well, I don't want to put it completely down to the coach. Yes, he made the selection of the team. The team eventually won, and credit should go to him. But I think he didn't tell Chukwueze how to score the goal. Neither did he tell Ekong to come and head bundle in the second goal, the winner. It was a brilliant performance from the team generally. That's how I look at it. Yes, everybody should take the credit. Both the players, both the coach, they are all responsible for the win. I mean, great performance from the Super Eagles, great tactics as well. Still the usual 4-3-3 that changed to 4-2-3 when they are defending. At the end of the day, it worked out. We all wanted Chukwueze to start that game. Somehow the coach listened and eventually started Chukwueze. He didn't start him in the penultimate game against Cameroon. He didn't start him. He only came in towards the latter stages of the encounter. I think the selection of the young man worked out perfectly. He was in the middle of everything positive we did in that encounter yesterday. Great performance from the lad, and like Ahmed Musa rightly captured, that's the future Super Eagles star we have, and he could still go ahead and become one of the best players in the world, because he's playing football at the highest level. And he has played against some of the finest players in a league that is widely touted as the best league in the world, as it were. So you think somehow the future is very, very bright for him. He was voted man of the match yesterday, deservedly so, and at the end of the day, good one for Nigeria. The scoreline did not entirely reflect what happened on the field of play. If we go by the dominance of the game, Nigeria enjoyed a larger share of the possession, created more chances and all that. You want to think that Nigeria would have won by a wider margin, but we are comfortable. It's not a league format this time, it's a knockout game. Any win of any sort, will take you to the next round, and that's what the Eagles were able to achieve yesterday, and we're happy about it.
It should have been with what you saw yesterday, that game. Can we now say the Eagles can take on any team that comes along, whether it's Ivory Coast, whether it's Algeria?
Before the competition started, I thought the Eagles would take on any team in Africa, because it's not like we have any excellent team in Africa, so to speak. For all the goodies that Senegalese have in player quality, it's not even the best we've seen in Africa over the years. So I'm not one to be flattered by whatever we have seen in the AFCON. I'm thinking Nigeria have a good enough squad to face anybody in Africa, even before this match. And with the wins so far, with the wins now, Cameroon, South Africa, it's enough statements for anybody. Because even the Egyptians were at our back yesterday. I saw the pains in their faces when we considered that goal by a VAR call, which was correct, by the way. And it was interesting to see Nigeria play football that way. The Super Eagles were quite a delight to watch for most of the period, and it was good seeing them play, getting the result. And at this stage, Algeria, yes, are in a very rich vein of form. 3-0, they trashed the Guineans. We struggled to beat by a goal to nothing. Football doesn't work that way, but yes, it's something. At least they've got that mental confidence. And let's not forget, they've got one of the best players in the EPL these days, and he's in form as well in the AFCON. Riyad Mahrez, he's gotten 3 goals already, and he might just be looking to add into his tally. The last game, he was very instrumental in that game, voted man of the match against the Guineans, and we should be scared of the man. I think that's one nation we should be scared of, and Senegal as well. But like I said, these countries they are worth being scared of. But as much as they are worth being scared of, we also have what it takes to match them, strength for strength, man for man, and power for power. But just before I drop the mic, I heard Ahmed Musa talk about the fact that in a few years' time he's going to be retiring. How old is Ahmed Musa? 25?
Well,
I'm sure he meant
2010 it was 18.
It's
So add
25.
9 years to 18. That's 27 years.
27.
In the next 5 years, that's expect
of
him
course.
to still play at this level again.
At some point, I'm sure
Mikel is almost reaching the national team.
will drop the bat.
At 32, Mikel is almost reaching the national team. So, in fact, Mikel has said this is his last AFCON
His last
for
AFCON.
Nigeria. He might just retire after this AFCON.
I tell you. But Dorcas, let's just we've heard Ahmed Musa say the same thing about Chukwueze. Should Chukwueze finally, by all standards, be a starter? Whatever the game is, whatever the game plan is, should he be a regular for the Super Eagles?
I'm not the coach. The coach knows better. He knows what he sees. Like, let me use the word of top striker. That he knows what he sees whenever they train. So I might sit here and tell him that, okay, I think Chukwueze should always start in every game that you have to execute. But then I do not see behind the scenes. I do not know what's happening behind the scenes. The coach knows everything that happens there. So if he feels Chukwueze should start, it's his call to make. And we saw that call yesterday when he started him against South Africa, and it worked perfectly. So if he feels he can take anybody from the Ivorian side or even the Algerians, fine, good. But for me, whatever the coach decides and it works perfectly, I'm cool with that. Even if he starts or even if he comes from the bench, it's all cool with me. But so far, the coach knows better how to work with his players, who to put and who to take out. We saw the call he made after the first game for Mikel. And ever since then, we haven't seen him. People are quite excited because most of the time when we get to see Mikel, he's quite sluggish, he's slow, but then there's a calm around him one way or the other. But in the first game that he played, I wasn't really convinced, and I felt, okay, you should drop him. And he thought that too, and he dropped him. So whichever player he thinks can start and should start is the coach's call to make.
All right, for Dorcas, he lies on the
that
coach.
being said, there are some players you cannot afford to bench. Game changers, individually brilliant players that can turn the game on its
around.
Chukwueze is one of such players. He has shown that, yes, this is just his first goal for Nigeria, but come on, the few times he has played for this country, he has shown that brilliance. And this is the biggest stage in African football. He's just 20. He's doing it at that level. I mean, all you need to do is just encourage such a player, give him more game time. The confidence level grows. I mean, if he continues doing what he's doing right now, I tell you, you don't. Only a West Ham will bring a Jojo Koch and put him on the bench. You don't keep such players on the bench. And the Messi don't start on the bench.
All right, top striker.
That's the youngest man to get the goal at the AFCON. Why
this current AFCON.
Yeah, this current AFCON. Top striker, can we tag the Super Eagles now as favourites to win the title? You look at the other names that are playing today, but can we just say, okay, the Super Eagles are the favourites for this title?
I've always called them my favourites for the AFCON. From inception, before the tournament got over, I said they are one of my favourites, if not number one favourite. Yes, people mentioned Morocco and the rest. I never saw Egypt as one. Most of the majority of the people that have been touted as favourites have fallen by the wayside, except for Senegal, who are still there. So people are not considering Algeria as favourite. Nobody saw Ivory Coast as favourite. Nobody saw Tunisia as favourite. So at this point, looking at the people who are left in the tournament, we want to say Nigeria, Senegal are the two outright favourites right now, because these two have made it to the semi-finals. So the outcome between Ivory Coast and Algeria, Tunisia and Madagascar will also be there. So right now, for me, if I'm to pick two favourites, it's going to be Nigeria and Senegal. With all due respect to the other teams who are playing today, I didn't consider them from the onset, or from the outset rather. So the favourites I've had are Nigeria, Senegal and Morocco. Morocco have gone out. So right now it's between Nigeria and Senegal. And these two teams are not supposed to meet until in the final if they progress to the semi-final. So right now, Nigeria and Senegal, who are the outright favourites for the tournament.
All right, that's according to Top Striker. But let's switch to the phone lines before we come and get the predictions of the guys for today's game. 0817 0000 951 0810 951 951. Now we've talked about the Wimbledon Open, where of course Simona Halep has cruised into the final, and the game live on our screens. Serena Williams has taken the first set already, and of course the Super Eagles. You know what happened last night? Let me get your thoughts on it. Good evening, welcome to today's Sports Live.
Wisdom.
Lawson, welcome to the show.
The boys played well yesterday, honestly. I wasn't expecting them to play like that.
For the first time, they impressed you. That's nice.
Yeah, they impressed me. I don't know what happened. South Africa, all the things they did against Egypt, we saw. I didn't see anything yesterday. I don't know whether it's down to the way the Nigerians played. No, they played well. At least if they play like this now against Algeria, I'm very sure we may win the AFCON. I'm very sure because Algeria, make no mistake, is the most informed side right now. But if they can get Algeria out of the way, I feel that they are going to win it. But honestly, kudos to the boys. The boys, this is how to really play the game. I was happy yesterday.
All right, Lawson.
For once. And Serena Williams, I think she's going to go all the way. Believe me.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Lawson, thank you so much. Good evening. Welcome to the Sports Life. All right, we lost that one. But keep your calls coming through 0817 00000951, 0810 9510951. Good evening. Welcome to the Sports Life.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Sports Life.
Yeah, this is Europe. I'm calling from Europe.
Europe from Africa. You're welcome to the show.
Yes, the VAR yesterday check, is it a different VAR from the one?
My brother, I was asking myself too.
The time spent,
we are still learning.
And why didn't the referee, is there no other television in the studio that the referee would go out itself?
My brother, if you ask me now, who I go ask?
Anyway, the game is a very, very good game. In fact, nobody should doubt the tactical prowess of Genaro. I'm telling you. The coach is tactically sound. He's tactically sound. His changes always, right from the first day. His changes is always spot on.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Sports Live.
Good evening, Wisdom. How are you doing?
I'm cool. How are you doing yourself?
I'm very fantastic. Very fantastic.
All right. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Basi. I'm calling from Lumene.
Basi, welcome to the show.
Yes. You said something. Whether Coach Kenneth Roy could be one of the best coaches. So to me, I still doubt his ability because for the past game, if you have watched it very well, it takes individual brilliance and effort for us to win games. So the tactics is the equation. However, the upcoming game, the match is going to be played. That is. The match is going to be played today between Cote d'Ivoire and Algeria. Whoever wins the game is not going to be a problem to Nigeria.
Okay.
Because Nigeria now, we have taken every goal step by step to make sure that we deliver.
All right.
We're not going to use calculator again.
Okay.
Even Algeria. I remember last time when we met Algeria during that World Cup qualifying series. A good number of persons passed a lot of no confidence on Nigeria because of the strength of Algeria.
All right, Basi.
Here in Nigeria, we deliver. So this time around, we have no fear for any country.
All
we
right.
are going to beat anybody that comes our way.
All right, Basi. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Good evening. Welcome to today's Sports Live. Good afternoon.
Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I think the Eagles tried yesterday. At least they impressed us. They impressed us. But I think what happened yesterday was just was a matter of what happened when Chelsea won Champions League. Huh?
What happened?
It wasn't about the coach. The players they were motivated on their own.
Okay.
You understand? So I still have doubt on Genetro because I doubt his technique.
Okay.
Even when they brought in I want to ask Wisdom. I think this guy, Onyekuru, I think he was among the players that for the tournament.
Onyekuru is there, Victor Osimhen is there too.
So why did he now to use Simon? Guys, they are good.
When I get to Egypt, I'll ask him, and when he comes back, you ask him. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's Sports Live. All right, we lost that one. And quickly, guys, I'll get your predictions. Just think through it. Ivory Coast, Algeria, and of course, Madagascar. Would they be able to surprise us? We hear their presidents have done everything to see that the fans will be behind them. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's Sports Live.
Good afternoon. My name is Evan.
All right, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Nigeria is playing Algeria or Ivory Coast, right?
Yes, depending on who wins today. The match is by 5 p.m.
Okay. I see Nigeria to beat any of the teams there.
Okay.
Yeah, I see Nigeria Senegal final.
Oh, Nigeria-Senegal final.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. Good afternoon, welcome to today's Sports Live.
Please, wisdom, quickly.
Quickly, Lawson.
I just want to ask, please. I'm not putting it down on Genetro. Make no mistake. It's not like the caller before this one. He's very difficult. That Nigeria restless Nigeria spirit and all that the performance too.
All right,
not Genetro. Please, even if he wins the AFCON, after the AFCON, I beg.
We should sack him.
Back and leave. Thank you.
Lawson. Good afternoon, welcome to today's Sports Live. Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Left Right Center. Honorable Bibi calling from Rumubai.
All right, Honorable Bibi, welcome to the show.
I go all the way.
Okay.
It's so funny that we keep saying Genatro is not a good coach, but the man is actually little is going to. It's not small now. But now it's no longer. You remember before this AFCON, nobody gave Nigeria a chance to get the final. We were saying Genatro is not good, they can't even score. So many complaints. Now it's the semi-final, now it's not so Genatro, it's the boys. After that time, they were doing well during the preparation for the AFCON. They never said it was the boys. They never said the boys scored is the boys. He did not do well, it's Genatro. It's not funny. Let's give this man the accolade he deserves. He has been doing well.
All right.
Now he qualified us to the World Cup. He has taken us to the semi-final. Who knows what will happen?
All right, Honorable Bibi.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. Good afternoon, welcome to today's Sports Live. All right, we lost that one. Let me start with you, Emeka. 2 games will be coming up. I'm telling you, in less than make that 8 minutes and an hour. Ivory Coast will be coming up against Algeria.
1 hour 8 minutes.
1 hour 8 minutes. Yes, and of course Madagascar will be coming up against Tunisia by 8 p.m. Emeka, what are your predictions?
Predictions.
Yes.
Algeria to beat Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
And,
by what scoreline?
1-0.
Tunisia, Madagascar.
Let me go for the underdogs now. The fairy tale run will continue for Madagascar. They will beat Tunisia.
Okay, Dorcas.
I think Tunisia will get to win that one against Madagascar.
Okay.
And then Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire is going to go all the way to penalties for me, and then Algeria wins.
All right, Chidubim.
I don't want Algeria to win, but I think they are going to do it, and it's going to be down to Riyad Mahrez. The man is unstoppable practically. So Algeria gets it against Cote d'Ivoire.
How about Madagascar, Tunisia?
Madagascar, no. I think that's where the journey will end. Just like Korikoko Golf, this is the bus stop.
Despite the president's hand.
Nah.
All right, top strike. Ivory Coast versus Algeria, as much as Madagascar's game.
I'll give it to Algeria and expect Madagascar to cause another upset by taking out Tunisia.
I'm beginning to call you the upset man. Good afternoon, welcome to today's Sports Live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Steve Ngo. I'm coming from Port Harcourt.
Steve, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want to mention them, but there are 2 people who doesn't want to see the coach that exists in this tournament.
Okay.
I've been saying that you can't stay in the corner of your house and be a professional. You have to go and train and get something for you. So those of them who are looking at this man as it's unfortunate. What we are saying that don't change the winning team, and the man is trying to keep that in order.
Right.
The man has tried. You see the training of the team. Everybody, the whole 23 players in that camp, everybody can try to play any match. But some people who doesn't want, I don't know whether they get some things, whether they have, they talk as if they are, you just say you are not even coaching local, you are village, you are not even coach. And see somebody who is professional, who has gone abroad, do everything, you are condemning from day one. It's very unfair. Let us encourage these boys, because any glory that comes to Nigeria as an individual.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Good afternoon, welcome to today's Sports Live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Bivarban from Bakana.
All right, welcome to the show.
Yes, yesterday's match was very, very fantastic. I mean, right from inception, I know that Nigeria will go to the finals and finally carry the cup.
Okay.
And never be surprised that Nigeria, Madagascar are the finals.
Okay.
It looks very funny, but those people, I'm afraid of them.
All right.
And that Nigeria will come up at the end of the day.
All right.
And let us congratulate Genetron. He is trying. He's really trying. Let's be positive. We should not be higher critics. Seeing nothing good in the effort of what people are doing. And this time, if Nigeria play with Madagascar in the final, help me tell Kenneth Roy, he should not, because of his wife, lose the match this time.
All right, thank you so much, Emeka.
Well, more incentives for the Super Eagles. They score more goals at the
I wish I were a footballer.
You know, wow. Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, has pledged $50,000 for any goal. That's each goal they score in their remaining 2 matches. And of course, Femi Otedola, the oil baron, has also pledged $25,000 for each goal Super Eagles scores in the semi-final or maybe in the final. I asked myself, what if we lose in the semi-final and play in the third place match? With that, those pledges still apply.
They say the remaining 2 matches.
Even if we lose in the semi-final and play the third place match.
It's still 2 matches.
I hope you never play the team very well.
Yes, exactly. The same Dangote promised Super Eagles $1 million when they came back from South Africa after winning the AFCON title in 2013. Till date, he hasn't. Or till tomorrow. He hasn't fulfilled that promise.
He's bringing another one.
No, I'm sure the NFF would have forgotten about that 2013 promise, but of course, that's the latest incentive coming in.
Wow.
There was dollar rain in the camp the other day.
I tell you, 37,500
each player. I mean, you wonder what you're doing here while 20-year-old Chukwueze is pocketing 37,000.
Emeka, I'm asking myself that question. Someone's salary for God knows
till infinity.
Of course, a message coming in. This one says that good evening, the sports crew who won the I2 FA Cup. David from PH. The final has not been played. As Tornadoes up against the Kano Pillars in the finals. No date has been fixed for that yet. Why this other one says that Chukwueze and Jamilu Collins' performance was superb, but our goalkeeper is a flop. Singer Bruce right there. And of course, that's the updates coming from here.
All right, quickly before we still move over to the phone lines, the second set is still 5-2 now. Serena Williams looks like she's going to be delivering this one in straight sets. She's leading the second set 5-2. But let me also inform us, I'm sure tomorrow we'll be doing justice to this one. The Under-17 World Cup will be coming up in October. And of course, the groups have the draws were done today. Nigeria in Group B, and we are with Hungary, Ecuador, and Australia, yes, in Group B. Back to the phone lines. Good evening, welcome to Today Sports Live.
Hello?
Hello, your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Chris, welcome to the show.
Well, sir, I want to congratulate the Super Eagles for their exploits yesterday.
Okay.
And I also really want to commend the technical advisor, Kenneth Roy, for his input in the team.
Okay.
Nigeria should retain him. He has shown so much competence.
All right.
If you watch his changes, I guess, as a matter of fact, the man came into Nigeria to coach our national team. He has made a lot of positive improvements in the team.
All right.
He has discovered a lot of players. Most of these players we are hearing now, he was the one that covered most of them and brought them to the national team.
All right, okay, so he should stay on.
He should stay on.
All right, thank you so much. We have to move on. Good afternoon, welcome to Today Sports Live.
Wisdom.
Lawson, quickly.
It will be today's game. I think Algeria and Madagascar will come out of it.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you so much. One message before we run out.
This one says Super Eagles, the boys are trying, but the coach is not good enough. Jerry from Alo.
All right, last caller before we leave the studio. Good evening, welcome to the Sports Live. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Quickly, you have 5 seconds. All right.
Honestly, I'm celebrating the Super Eagles season. I'm celebrating the winning. I am that young man. It's a son for staying the team. Somebody I whenever I remember that makes me happy in this.
All right, thank you so much. I think we get your thoughts right there. Samuel Chukwueze, yes, I'll still say that he should be the poster boy of Nigerian football. On that note, we call it a wrap on today's edition of Today Sports Live. The show makes a return tomorrow, same time. But before then, we're going to be having Sports Attack at 7:30 a.m. Until then, keep it locked on this dial. Today, FM 95, the rocking one.
Are you ready? ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon, and here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifemi Andrew. The Nigerian Senate summoned the National Communications Commission over dropped calls and poor registration of SIM cards. This followed the increasing rate of dropped calls and unwholesome practice by telecommunication network operators in the country. According to the lawmaker,